I'll be teaching a jiu-jitsu seminar Saturday, September 21st at 10th Planet Springfield, Oregon, and December 7th at 10th Planet Livonia near Detroit. See you there. Jiu-Jitsu Overdose is coming to Cancun in December. Hello, everybody. The BJJ scene has been on fire as of late, and this is my absolute best attempt at trying to create the ultimate jiu-jitsu experience. Check this out. All the inch-by-inch jiu-jitsu shows back to back to back. 4 straight nights of awesome jiu-jitsu events streaming live and exclusively on UFC Fight Pass. Thursday night through Sunday night. December 11th through December 16th in Cancun, Mexico. Combat Jiu-Jitsu Mexico Thursday night. Then Medusa Friday night. Then EBI Saturday night. Then Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds the final night. All exclusively on UFC Fight Pass. Or if you've been saving money for a crazy vacation and would love to witness this madness live, for $2K, you get 5 nights at an all-inclusive 5-star resort in Cancun, Planet Hollywood. And that means free food and free drinks in case you didn't know. Then a high-level jiu-jitsu seminar every afternoon, including Jean-Jacques Machado and Gio Martinez. And then a high-level jiu-jitsu show every goddamn evening. EBI, CJJ Worlds, Medusa, and CJJ Mexico. 4 awesome jiu-jitsu shows for 4 straight nights, plus Sam Tripoli and Chingo Bling doing late-night stand-up comedy. Then you could party your ass off any way you want after that because you don't have to be at the seminar the next day till noon. Imagine, we have 150 rooms reserved at Planet Hollywood. It's 6 months away. I believe the rooms will sell out quick. Tickets go on sale August 1st. You also will be able to reserve your spot with a down payment, or you could just relax at home and watch all this jiu-jitsu goodness live exclusively on UFC Fight Pass. This is the best I can do. So far, anyways, I hope y'all's like it. Thank you tremendously for the support. See you in Cancun. Hook Thieves will be playing September 13th in Venice at the Rose Room. Don't miss it. Tickets available on eventbrite.com. Doors open at 8. We're opening the show. Get there early. See ya. This episode is brought to you by Cellular Performance Institute. Is your body beat up and broken down? Look into stem cells today. It could change your life. Go to cellularperformanceinstitute.com.
I can't believe it.
And you still got people out there with double masks and face shields and shit. Look into it.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Look Into It. Tonight is all politics with the host of Soul Not For Sale podcast on YouTube. It's huge. Coach Colin. What's up, Coach?
Bro, I'm good. It's going to be all politics. I didn't even know that. That was going to be my first question of where you stood with politics.
I mean, we could get right into flat Earth if you want. I mean, we could get right into that shit.
Bro, I have questions written down, and I have a theory on flat Earth. Because I don't dismiss flat Earth people. A lot of people dismiss it, you know?
By you saying that, trust me, I've been through this a million times. By you saying, I don't dismiss it, there's something to it, I don't know nothing, that means you're on your way to flat Earth. Nobody ever goes backwards. No. Do you believe that we landed on the moon?
Oh, I believe as much as you're on the moon right now.
Yeah,
in your background.
So is it safe to say that you don't believe we went to the moon, right? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, nah, man. I mean, me and my wife used to be on the podcast with me. She used to pull up. She was like my Jamie, you know what I mean? She'd pull up all of the information. And we just did a whole lot of research. And when you put together Stanley Kubrick, and then you put together the fact that all the stuff that he put in The Shining, and then you've put in the fact that he had this close relationship with NASA to the point that they're making lenses for the guy. And it's just, there's so much where you're just like, it makes more sense that they had Stanley film it than anything else.
Yeah. Okay. So
when you really look into what Stanley Kubrick, like, it's crazy the connection he has to NASA.
You're on your way, dog. You will be a flat earther 1,000,000%. It's going to take you a while to admit it publicly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because it's going to discredit a lot of the work you've done. You're going to lose a lot of followers and all that. So it's tough. It's tough. It took me like 18 months. Like, and I would say, like, hey, I don't know if it's... Once you start saying, I don't know if it's flat or round, I'm not sure. Even Joe Rogan, the last time flat earth came up, because he usually shits on flat earth, but the last time he brought it up, what did he say? He goes, and who cares if it's round or if it's flat? You know what? You're on your way, dog. Once you start saying, but who cares if it's round or flat? Damn, you're on your way. You're halfway there.
Joe definitely can't come out as a flat earther. That's like,
no,
he definitely can't. It's done deal if he does that.
Yeah.
That's worse than him endorsing Trump. He knows he can't endorse Trump. He definitely can't endorse flat earth.
No way can he endorse flat earth. But he did say, what does it matter if it's round or flat? That means he's on his way.
True.
I mean, just think about, I mean, there's a clip by, are you familiar with that CIA whistleblower named Robert David Steele?
No. What did he whistleblow about though?
Just, there's been a bunch of CIA whistleblowers. That's what I was really into in the 2000s. I wasn't into keeping up with politics on a daily basis, like what's going on daily in Washington, D.C., senators, congressmen. I didn't even know who fucking the mayor was of my city or the governor. I'm like, Gavin, like I wasn't paying attention to anything. I was really, really into CIA whistleblowers and fascinated with what the CIA actually does. And this one guy, Robert David Steele, he's dead now. He says, there's a video clip in my by the time this airs, my editor will put it up. We always play it. It's Robert David Steele saying, he's not even talking about flat earth. He's not even talking about fake moon missions. He's talking about CIA shit. And then someone brings up NASA, goes, oh, NASA. Oh my God. You know what we call NASA? We call NASA not a space agency. That's the biggest money laundering agency that we have. He just said that and then he moves past it. He just moved past it. He wasn't talking about flat earth or fake moon. He just said NASA. Oh my God. Because think about all the money they get, $19 billion a year. And
is that how much it is?
Yeah. And they don't need to show anything. All they need, they just need to do the green screen and pretend they're in the International Space Station. Go, oh, what are you guys doing up there? Oh, and they always say the same thing. Oh, we're studying science. Oh, we're doing scientifical stuff. You ever notice that? Anytime they ask anybody, what are you doing in the space station? Oh, we're doing science. We're doing scientifical stuff, and we're trying to get to the moon. And once we get to the moon, then we're going to go to Mars and beyond. They always say the same shit. They say nothing.
Well, they are trying to get to the moon because they had the technology and then somebody taped over it, I believe. Something happened. Yeah. They had the footage. They got taped over, somebody's wedding or something, Yeah,
what's crazy is all the shit the media gets away with. You could never get away with that shit on the streets. On the fucking streets. On the streets. You go like, yo, can we look at all the fucking evidence? Or like, oh, we lost all the evidence. You know how dead you would be right away? You say, you lost the fucking evidence? You know what I mean? Like on the streets. Can you imagine on the streets like, yo, where's my drugs? Where's the shipment? They're like, oh, you know the thing. I got hairy legs. You know the thing. Dude, you'd be so fucking dead. With that Kamala Harris type logic. You'd be dead on the street. You'd be dead on the street. You wouldn't last one fucking minute on the street.
I've said that 100 times, especially, 4 years ago, the way the world was, if the government was your friend, you would fight that friend right away. Oh. You'd be like, yo, this guy's a liar. This guy comes up to me and he goes, hey man, I think someone's going to break out your car windows. I don't know. I heard that. I think there's going to be a breakout all over your windows.
Yeah.
And then you wake up the next day, all your windows are smashed. You'd be like, yo, where is this guy? This guy just said this was going to happen, and now it's happening. You would track him down right away. You'd never talk to him again.
Yeah.
Owes you all sorts of money, constantly taking your money for no reason.
Yeah.
Never pays it back.
Were you ever a Democrat? Were you ever like, what year was the last year you were still a zombie?
Still a zombie, man. Well, a lot of people, younger people, they don't remember. YouTube used to be lit, and you could find anything on YouTube when it first started. When people who had the theories came out and they were making the videos, you could find all sorts of stuff on YouTube. So I got the internet when I was about 13, and then the first thing I stumbled onto was symbolism and secret societies and Freemasonry.
What year was that?
When I was 13, that had to be year 2000.
Oh, shit. 2000. So you've been red pilled for a very long time. So
yeah, and then also before the internet, my brother, and I don't know how he had this knowledge. I don't understand how he knew. He never explains it. He used to tell me all the time when I was like 7, he'd be like, one day they're going to switch over to plastic. They're going to take away all the cash. He goes, just so you know, one day they're going to take all of the cash away, and it's just going to be credit, and it's just going to be plastic cards. That's it. There's going to be no more money. And you tell a 7-year-old that, it doesn't make any sense. But years later, I always message him. I'm like, how are you connecting that? And he's like, And he used to tell me to stay away from the microwave way before people knew to stay away from the microwave. So I benefited from having older brothers who were like 12 years older, 7 years older than me. So I've been up for a while.
The microwave is an interesting one. That's like one of the microwave is like an escalator. Like they mastered that shit 30, 40 years ago, and they haven't made any improvements on it. Like, how do you make an improvement on a fucking microwave? You know what I mean? It's like, it's going to heat your food up in a minute. There's no way there's going to be a microwave that all you need is 10 seconds and boom, it's done. They mastered that shit. It
does the job. It takes away the nutrients from your food, and you leave it at that. That's what they wanted. That's what they got. They don't need to make it any better. You heat stuff up, it takes away the nutrients in anything that you heat up in there.
Yeah.
Not completely, but a little bit.
That, you know what? That's what I always believed. I always believed that. I always believed that microwave's bad. It's got to be bad. And it's got to be bad, right? What
happens when you hit your head with radiation? You hit your brain with radiation enough, there's going to be a problem. You hit your food?
There's people that say the radiation's not bad, actually.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but I will say this. My son did an experiment with microwave water. So we got 2 plants. This is for school. And we got 2 plants, 2 basil plants, and watered one with just, water from Arrowhead, like bottled water. We watered one with bottled water, and we watered one with microwave water. And this was after I saw a video on Instagram where some East Indian doctor saying microwave bad. All you got to do is just take microwave water and put it into a plant, and then take regular water, and you'll see that the microwave water plant is going to be dead quick. It'll die quick. And I'm like, oh, and it sounds believable, right? But dude, as much as I wanted to believe that, we did the fucking thing, and we did it for a month. Both plants were exactly the same.
So what? Microwaved water was okay for the plant. Well, I mean, here's the thing.
It's like distilled water, I guess.
Okay. So I don't know. I would say we're not plants.
I don't know.
I would say we're not plants. That's what I would say right off the bat. Because, I don't know. But he's already doing tests like this. How old is your kid now?
He's 12.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was all down. I go, for sure, like, this is going to be fucking evidence. And then every day I would look at the microwave water plant, hoping it would, look like shit. But they look the same every day for a month. They look the same. I'm like, okay, maybe it's a long-term thing. Maybe we did this for 2 years. Then you'd really see the difference. I don't know. Know. I mean, microwave has to be bad, right? It has to be bad. Like, how could it be?
I don't know. But I think it's bad.
It's got to be.
They tell pregnant women to stay away from radiation. They tell them to stay away from
They also tell people to stay away from salt and cholesterol. And we all know that's all bullshit. Like, cholesterol is good for you now, apparently. Like, cholesterol.
Am I frozen to you?
Every now and then I freeze.
Okay. Am I frozen now?
No, you're not. Yeah, you are. I'm
Am I?
freezing myself, and we're not going back and forth. Like, fuck, I don't know what's going on.
No,
There we
it's
go.
cool, but
As
yeah.
long as the audio is still good, we're good. There might be some problems.
Brother, on my channel, as long as you're good, everybody's gonna be good. Because, bro, I have to say, we're talking about all this stuff.
CPI, stem cells, they could do some wild shit down there.
My shoulder was jacked. I went down there, worked, man.
Eric Anders' neck was up, and then he went down and got stem cell treatment. Now it doesn't bother him at all anymore.
CPI stem cells, 10 out of 10, highly suggested. I got stem cells in my knee. My knee is feeling a lot better.
I just come and I do stem cells to make sure that I'm resetting my body and staying healthy.
It regenerates tissue, reduces inflammation. The results are amazing.
When it comes to the science of stem cells, no one comes close to CPI. There's not even a close second.
The one video I did, not the one video, I've done thousands of videos, but there's one video where you're on JRE, and I cover JRE stuff a lot. And sometimes it seems like your opinion gets pushed aside a little bit. I have to say, it seems like it gets pushed aside a little bit. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if you remember, I mean, maybe 5-6 years ago, I would be getting crucified by everybody. Joe, Brendan, Brian Callen, they would just swarm on me. I was like by myself, and they were just fucking me up. I was trying. I was trying my hardest, though.
I noticed that a lot, because here's the thing here. And I've done a few videos on you and that whole dynamic, but all of a sudden, I'm sure you've heard of him, Billy Carson. You know Billy Carson?
Yes.
Anunnaki guy, black guy. He's always talking about that stuff.
Yeah, I know him.
Word is that there's some theories going around that he's a federal agent. I don't know. Allegedly, I'll just say I have no idea. I just heard that really quick. But also the fact that he's talking about crazy stuff as well, Joe's just taking it in. No problem. But then when it comes to your crazy stuff, there's a big wall up. I noticed.
Yes. I mean, they're talking shit about flat Earth, and he's going off about like some fucking emerald tablets.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm down for emerald tablets and and ancient scripture and all that. But when people bring up the fact that we live on some level. We're in a lake. We're in a clock. We're in a fucking clock. The sun, the moon, the stars, they're a fucking clock. The sun regulates the day. The moon regulates the months. The stars regulate the year. I mean, we're in a fucking clock, and it's like some kind of electromagnetic clock, and it goes around like this. We're in a fucking machine, and we're machines. We're like nanobots in this fucking machine. We're in a machine. We're in a fucking electromagnetic machine, and water is level. It's looking like our shore. Like we're in a circle. We're in the sun and the moon go around like that, and the shore is ice. I mean, we see we don't have video of the entire shoreline, but we got video of a fucking few miles of some ice wall, and that shit ain't icebergs. There's video of the fucking ice wall. We're in some kind of goddamn lake. I don't know what's outside the wall. I'm just speculating. I'm just going by like, hey, okay, the sun and the moon are going like this, so we're probably in a circle, and the shoreline is a circle, and all the continents are like a fucking. We're in a prison lake. That's what I think we're in.
Here's the thing. All right, here's my theory when it comes, because flat Earth. The one thing that people talk about, because I've gone back and forth with people, I've made videos about it. So people in the comment section, they talk about the math and how the math all checks out. When you look into the math of everything, it makes sense that it's flat. Here's what I think. And this is just, I don't smoke weed anymore, but this is like one of my stoner thinking about, because I saw a map, a Buddhist map from the 14th century, maybe 13th century. And it's showing this whole wall that you're talking about. And then it's showing more patches of land. These are Buddhist people, 13th century. They have no access to technology that we know of, maybe, but they're showing that there's all this land masses around this ice. They're actually showing this. So my thought process becomes, what if the Earth is just way bigger than we've been told? Like 1,000 times bigger than we've been told, because then the math of everything being flat would check out. And also it checks out also when it comes to the whole the prison theory, that we are locked in this whole thing, and we are, because, you know, like the world's debt. You ever heard them talk about how much debt the entire world owes?
No,
who do we owe it to?
All I know is, who do we owe it to? Fucking aliens?
That's what I mean, right? And then when you talk about aliens and everything, maybe those are just the other, I don't know, beings, people, whatever, what have you, that are actually still on this planet going around. And that's why people have been seeing UFOs go into water, come out of water, flying around. People keep saying they've been around us forever. I don't know. But that the basic thought was maybe the planet is much bigger, because then it makes sense that it's flat. It makes sense that we're blocked in. It makes sense that there's other land masses. That's where I'm at. No weed, all sober, tinfoil Speedo.
Yeah. It could be anything. We're just speculating here.
Obviously,
the one thing is, you know, if even if that's true, which I don't believe it's true, that we're still on a ball, but it's just way bigger than they're saying. That means they're wrong about everything. You know what I mean? But they're right about some shit that they're not even claiming. You know what I mean? So at the very least, whether that's true or not, they're wrong about everything, right? They're wrong about everything. They're wrong.
Well, I mean, at that point, everybody who's here is cased in. Yeah. So it's like, no, not one slave is not really smarter than the other slave. It's just this whole society that we've built up over time, you know?
Yeah.
And whoever's on the outside actually knows what's up with us.
Well, based on the numbers they're giving us, that we're on a ball, we live in a sphere, and it's approximately 25,000 miles in circumference. And if whatever the circumference is, they're saying 25,000 miles in circumference, there's a curvature formula for that, and no one's disputing that. So if whatever size the ball is, whether it's a little fucking ping pong or the size of a fucking these make-believe planets, there's a curvature formula. So it's hard to measure. It's almost impossible, really, to measure accurately curvature on land, because there's mountains, there's valleys.
Yeah.
Like how are you going to measure curvature on land, you know?
Yeah.
But in the ocean, it's got to be measurable. There's no valleys or mountains in the ocean. So when you talk about measuring curvature in the ocean, that shit should be accurate. And based on their number, 25,000 miles in circumference, that would mean that when you factor in the curvature formula, which this is what they say, 8 inches per mile squared. So the first mile, there should be 8 inches of curvature, which is, you could barely detect that. You can't see that. Like the first mile, there's 8 inches. But then as you go on, it's per mile squared. So then the next mile is going to be, 32 inches, not 8 inches, or however that works. It's more. So according to that curvature formula, based on a ball that's 25,000 miles in circumference, at 100 miles in the ocean, there should be approximately 6,600 feet of curvature. So that's a big ass fucking wave. That's a big curve, right? At 100 miles, right? So you should never be able to see anything in the ocean 100 miles away that's shorter than 6,600 feet. You know what I mean? So anything that's 200 feet high, you wouldn't be able to see it 100 miles.
I wish my buddy was. Go ahead.
Navy ships, they pinpoint targets over 100 miles away, and they laser target it, and they look at it, and they got cameras, and they pinpoint shit at more than 100 miles away. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Really?
Yeah. And when you look at there's document after document, NASA document, U.S. military documents, CIA documents, and there's NASA documents. Always talk about this, but when it comes to and these documents have nothing to do with flat Earth or the fake moon missions. It's all about calculating the motion of missiles. calculating the motion of missiles and high altitude aircraft. So, and these are documents that, like, how do you calculate, the trajectory of a missile, the speed, the interception of a missile. These are very specific numbers. And there's document after document where they say the number one rule is to get these numbers right. The number one rule is you have to assume that you're on a flat, non-rotating Earth. So basically, to get the numbers right, you have to believe in that crazy-ass conspiracy theory that we're on a flat Earth to get the numbers right. And the only answer the ballers have for that is like, oh, they're trying to keep it simple. Like, simple. These are rocket scientists. They don't need to keep shit simple. And to keep it simple, I would say, okay, keep it simple. To go from a ball to the opposite of a ball, flat, and to go from rotating to the opposite of rotating, flat, non-rotating Earth, to simplify. I would think simplify would mean, okay, you take a ball and then you make it like a soccer ball. Like, it's not quite a ball, but it's like a hexaball or whatever the fuck those shapes are. Yeah. Like, okay, you want to simplify it, do that kind of shit. But to simplify it, you have to do the opposite of sphere and the opposite of rotating to get the numbers correct, because they're trying to keep it simple. What are you trying to keep simple? You're trying to calculate the motion of missiles. Everything needs to be precise. So there's many documents on that. There's a guy, unfortunately, passed, but his name was Rob Skiba. And if you go to Rumble and look up Rob Skiba, they'll hide this video on YouTube. You can't even find it. You have to go to DuckDuckGo and go, do a workaround to find it. They hide this video. He goes through all those documents. It's like a 30-minute video where he just goes after document, and every document, when they're like trying to get these numbers right, number one rule, you have to assume that you're on a flat, non-rotating Earth.
Really?
You have to believe in the flat Earth crazy conspiracy theory to get the numbers right.
But then what is it? Hold on. So then what is it? What at the end of this, like, what is the purpose of it, right? When you were talking about how Joe said, what does it matter if it's a ball? What is the purpose of all that? Is it prison?
To keep us contained so that we're not allowed to go to the shore, the Antarctic shoreline. We're not allowed to go without government permission. And if you're able to get government permission, they're going to take you to a little peninsula. They have like a ceremonial South Pole pole. I mean, many people have tried to. You can't explore Antarctica independently, and they say it's to protect the penguins and the leopard seals.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You're not allowed. You're not allowed to explore Antarctica independently. You have to get a guts. And
yeah,
I mean, it's just we can just go on and on and on and on. It's so flat.
That's 100% true. I remember there was one guy. His name actually was Colin. I think it was Colin McFarlane, something like that. But he said that he walked across Antarctica. I remember because it was on JRE, and then I went and looked into the guy deeper, and then in another interview, he let people know that he was they told him you can walk here and to here, and that's it. That's where you're walking. They told him where he could walk. He didn't just get to walk across the whole thing.
No, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed.
Yeah. And also the whole thing that freaks me out about Antarctica, and I talk about this on my show all the time, is it's the one thing that every country agrees on. Yeah. They can't agree on money. They can't agree on oil. They can't agree on war. They can't agree on anything else.
Except penguins.
But Antarctica, they can all agree. It's that I find very interesting. Yeah. But then what's beyond that? What do you think's beyond the wall?
Maybe more lakes, maybe more electromagnetic lakes. We're in a machine.
I think it's more land. I think it's more land.
Of course. And then once you get beyond, okay, we're in some kind of lake. Now what? Then you get into all old world stuff. Are you into old world?
Old world? What, like Tartaria?
Yes. You into that?
Is that what it's called? Tartaria?
That's like the scene. The scene is called Tartaria because Tartaria was an empire that was basically erased from history. No one ever talks about Tartaria. And in old maps, you see like Tartaria was this big empire. And what we're finding is every city in the world got old world buildings, and they want you to think that, oh, that's how they used to build buildings back in the day, like these palaces and these cathedrals. They want everybody focused on the pyramids. They're like, oh, the pyramids, were they 20,000 years old or were they 50,000 years old? They want everybody on the pyramids with the real shit is in every city. Every city, LA, there's all these fucking crazy Gothic cathedrals. Who the fuck built those? We're basically, this lake we're in my opinion, I'm speculating, it's like Westworld. You know the movie Westworld or the show Westworld?
Yeah.
But it's like 200,000 times bigger. Like it's the whole lake. And when there's resets, this is what I think. I think the whole fucking Christopher Columbus, discovered America, and then it was cowboys and Indians, and then the gold rush. We went to California. I think that's all bullshit. I think a lot of that shit happened, but what they're leaving out is the cities were already here. They had just been wiped out. We repopulated the cities. That's what I believe. I believe, because when you look, according to the timeline, mainstream media, the late 1800s was cowboys and Indians and gold rush. Like who built these fucking palaces? Who built these fucking castles in Utah and in Seattle? Who built these fucking amazing structures in LA?
Yeah, when you see that, when you're talking about like the churches with the points and everything like that, and you never see it ever again.
Yeah, they're horse and buggy. Like, there was no power tools. Who the fuck built this shit? There was nobody out here, according to your timeline. It was cowboys and Indians. And
hey, I have to ask real quick. Will you be able to send me your recording? Because I'm just like frozen on my side. I thought it would stop, but it hasn't stopped yet. So will you be able to? Yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So the whole thing with that, there's a few interviews with Tucker Carlson, and he touches on, he's not really talking about this whole scene, but he talks about how insulting the architecture of today is, and how they just put us in these boxes. And it's like, get inside your box and live in your box, and that's, and how insulting it is. But then when you go to other places, like you're talking about, they have these beautiful structures, this wonderful architecture and all this stuff. And it makes me wonder sometimes about this place. And also I'll touch on pyramids as well. When it comes to North America, it's funny how we're the only place without all of this amazing ancient stuff, And it makes me think.
Meanwhile, we do have amazing ancient stuff. Have you looked into the Grand Canyon and all the Egyptian shit in there?
No, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it personally. I just heard about it. It could be fake, but I wouldn't doubt it. Apparently, the conspiracy theory is you're not allowed to explore the Grand Canyon independently, because there's a lot of shit people found in caves, like a lot of Egyptian shit. North America was already populated by a high level civilization.
See, that's I 100% agree with that, because it's funny how we're the only ones without pyramids and all that stuff, and I think at some point they just kind of destroyed them to wipe away that civilization, because we're the only place.
Yep.
Europe has pyramids.
We got pyramids too. We do have pyramids. They're all over the place. We do. They're just. I think a good percentage of mountain ranges are cities. They just got buried. That's what I think. I think,
man,
like when you look at a mountain range, I'm like, dude, there's probably a city under that shit. And over time, it just gets covered. I mean, you're finding it in South America all the time. Every day, they're finding new fucking temples under like swampland and shit in the Amazon. I think that a lot of mountains have buildings under them, and that's what they really are, in pyramids. That's what I think. I don't necessarily buy. I mean, the latest shit that came out with, just like in medicine, the latest thing, I was just watching that 50% of what's in medical books is bullshit. And they all know this. Like 50%. 50% of what they're teaching in medical textbooks have been proven to be bullshit. Like, think of it like they taught us salt was bad, and salt's not bad. They taught us cholesterol's bad. Cholesterol's not bad. It's all bullshit. They're demonizing meat and animal fat. Meanwhile, meat and animal fat is fucking essential. So,
Yeah.
I think it just goes like history is like that too, and a lot of science. I think it's all like, I mean, we learned how full of shit the whole vaccine industry and big pharma is over the last few years. I mean, who's gonna get a vaccine now? Like, who's into vaccines now? It used to be.
I never was. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I was an anti-vaxxer my whole life.
And I don't know what will happen to me, but I don't know if somebody will come after me with some pokes or something. But I haven't done anything like that since I was probably 8 years old. I stayed away from it.
You're smart. That's huge.
Well, I used to just skip school a lot. So they used to have it in the schools.
Yeah.
It would be like, we're coming by to do blah, blah, blah. Like what, I don't know, whatever, flu shots or whatever it was. And I would skip so much that I would miss it. And then they'd be like, well, until you get it, you can't come back to school. I'd be like, well, my mom's not home. The door's locked. So what are you going to do? And they'd be like, well, just send them to class. Like, what can we do? And it just went on like that for years. So I haven't touched anything. Nothing.
Yeah, you're smart. You're smart.
Lucky, man.
You don't have any kids?
I do. And she's clear.
Nice. Have you looked into terrain theory?
Terrain theory. Hold on. Okay. Let's get back to terrain theory. But I want to go back to the mountains being actual pyramids in cities. Because
hold that. We're going to take a little pee break. I got to piss really bad. I'll be back in exactly 2 minutes.
All right, do it. We got Eddie Bravo on the podcast. I don't know if this part's going to make it to his podcast, but guys, how does Eddie Bravo not realize how famous he is? I don't know what it is. I was talking with his producer and he's like, oh, Eddie doesn't want to be famous. Listen, you guys tell me, okay, in the comments, because I'll be in the comments section wherever this goes. You tell me, could this guy not start a podcast and be as big as Rogan? I'm not trying to pit them against each other. I'm just saying some of the most viewed JRE clips are Eddie. Like, what do we, what? I just don't understand it, man. This show should be on YouTube. It should be on Spotify, but his producer's like, Eddie doesn't want to be famous. And I'm like, come on, man. And I would help. I would 100% help to have that happen. Man, like, I don't think this guy realizes that he's up there with Alex Jones. I don't think he gets it. I think he just thinks, oh, I'm the jiu-jitsu guy. Like, I think he thinks, oh, I'm just really big for jiu-jitsu. I don't think he understands exactly how big he is. I don't know. That's just me. It's very interesting stuff, man. But I guess we're going to get into terrain theory. I want to talk about the mountains, because there's a big theory that there are certain, I don't know, you'll say tunnels, caves inside of mountains. And I'm big into Hollow Earth. Everybody, I know this is going to be on Eddie's channel, my channel, but everybody on my channel knows I keep a tinfoil Speedo on at all times. And I love talking about Hollow Earth theory because it really makes sense to me. Like, why wouldn't you go into a mountain? Why would you build a house when you can just build something into a mountain? And we have proof of that. Places like India, China, they show, because they actually preserved all their stuff, that they dig into mountains and make towns. Why wouldn't you? And there's also a theory around the Denver airport, that the Denver airport, there's a certain mountain near the Denver airport, and it goes real deep, and it's enough space for 2 tractor trailers to run side by side. Sorry, I was just talking to the audience. I was talking about how you're right up there with Alex Jones and you don't realize it.
Oh no, I'm not like Alex Jones.
Oh, man,
I love
you're
you,
up,
Dad, but
you're up there. You're up there.
You know what?
You may not be like him, but you're up there.
One of the things I admire about your podcast, I listen to it every day. I watch all your shit.
Yeah, right. Really?
No, I do. I listen to it every day. I love all your shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, I subscribe, and you pop up every day. You pop up and you break down shit, and you're all about common sense. Everything you say, pretty much I agree with. I love listening to your shit. The one thing I admire is you do your podcast by yourself. You could just go on by yourself. I don't do that shit. I need someone to talk to. I've never done a podcast where A lot of podcasts, I don't let people talk and I just talk over them and I just go on. So it's kind of like that. But being for real alone and doing a podcast, I've never even tried it.
Oh man, I just do it. And I could go way longer. I could make my episodes 2 hours long, but I try to make it digestible for people. I try to stay like 20, 30 minutes, if that,
Yeah.
But I could just go. I love it that way. Honestly, for the longest time, I've wanted somebody with me. I used to have my wife next to me. I've wanted to have somebody, but it seems like it's just something I got to do on my own. So I'm not hating on it.
So 9/11 right away, were you all Alex Jones'd out and this was a false flag?
When it happened?
Yeah. You were
when
like
it
six,
happened.
though. No, you were like a little kid.
I was in high school. I was in grade 10. I was just about to drop out because I only have a grade 9 education. So I was about to drop out, but we were in history class. We were very high. And all of a sudden the teacher brings in the TV and says, you guys have to see this. I'm not kidding. We watched almost all of it before I realized it was real. I thought he was just showing us a thing in history because we were in history class. I thought he was just playing a thing for us. And then all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, oh, this is actually happening. And I'll be honest with you. I'm 16 at the time. I'm hustling. You know what I mean? I'm out there. I'm doing the street thing. I could care less when this happens. Just completely honest with you. I can care less. I don't have, I don't have any money. Family's poor. I could care less.
Where did you grow up? Grew up
Crown Heights. So
like New York?
No. Toronto, bro.
Oh,
Toronto,
shit.
Canada.
Wait a minute. You're Canadian.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I feel like most people, I have a friend who was talking to me. He's like, I don't think people know you're Canadian. I'm like, yeah,
are you in Canada right now?
No, we do Texas.
You moved to Texas. What part of Texas?
Yeah.
Austin?
Austin, yeah.
Oh, damn, you're in Austin. You go to Comedy Mothership all the time or what?
No, not yet. Now I'm getting things together. I want to start doing this show live. I want to start doing it wherever they'll have me. I'm sure it won't be the mothership, but I'm honest about my comedian chops. I got maybe 7 minutes solid.
I'm Eddie Bravo, founder of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu with over 150 schools and over 30,000 soldiers worldwide. Music has always been my deepest passion. Without that musical journey that I took, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I can't tell my music story without having my musical partner my whole life and best friend, Mr. James Watson.
I said, I want to be in a band no matter what. Oh, well, there it is. I got to move to Los Angeles. I said, I got to go to that place. If this California is supporting metal.
Me and James just started making music. Mastering the Metal, the story of James Watson and Eddie Bravo. Print and audiobook available now.
I can riff like this all day and make people laugh, but solid actual material, I'm like 7 minutes. And I have, a couple of versions of 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, but I haven't mashed it into something where I can say like, oh, I got a 30-minute set. I don't got it like that. Not yet. No shortcuts for me. I don't want any shortcuts. So
how many times so you go on stage every now and then and you do open mics, or what do you do?
Bro, what happened was I was going on stage about 6 times a week.
Damn.
And then I actually got into the film and television world, which is what really roped me into Toronto because, film and television, it's big. It's big. Like, they call Toronto like it's like a North Hollywood type of place. It's like there's constantly stuff going on. So once I got roped into that, I was working 16-hour days, but I wanted to do it because I wanted to be able to be a husband, a father. So I started working film and television heavily.
What were you doing exactly?
I started at the very bottom. I was just watching parking lots, watching pylons. It's called the locations. It's like the bottom of film and television. Okay. I was just doing that for a while. Then I became a PA. Then after I was a PA for a while, I joined the Directors Guild. Then I joined IATSE. I started doing set deck work, grip work, stuff like that. And I just did that for the longest time, but it took me away from stand-up completely, because it's like, you know, you can't do 16-hour days and then also you have a girlfriend that you want to marry and then also get on stage. So it took me away from it. For a while until, for my blessing, the pandemic hit. And all of a sudden everybody has to go get this thing. And like I said, it's been more than 20 years since I've gotten any shots or anything. I'm not doing it. Like, what am I doing this for? So I'm like, I'll work the job until they tell me I'm fired. So basically, for the longest time, everything shut down. I stopped doing film and television work. I got no money again. I start doing Uber Eats. That's it. I'm just doing Uber Eats. I'm just delivering food, whatever, Chinese food, pizza. That's it. That was my whole life. And, you know, I'm making money, making a little bit of money, not a lot, still working 12-hour days because it's Uber Eats. That's the way it goes. You know, you're working until 3 a.m. every day. And then, listen, I don't know how you are with religion, but then actually I got this thing from God, because I got a good job, a very good job. And I had gotten saved. I was in a church. I was opening myself up to the Bible, to God. And then all of a sudden I got this message where I was like, you're not going to be able to do this job. And then everything started falling apart. Couldn't pay rent because of the job. They weren't paying enough. They weren't paying on time. Had to go back to Uber Eats a week later, because I just decided, I'm like, I'm just going to have faith in God. I just got to have faith in God. God got me sober. God will provide. A week later, I start the podcast. And then 3 months into starting the podcast, I get my first 1 million view video. I go from 168 subscribers to 5,000 to 15,000 to 20,000. And then it becomes an income. And that was it. And then the next thing you know, I'm just doing this podcast every day. And it's been like that for 2 years. How does it become
an income when you're talking about all sorts of stuff that'll get you demonetized?
Oh, well, I mean, there's learning in that, because people didn't realize I'd make 90 videos a month when I was like really going hard before the baby came and everything. Like, you know, 40 of those videos would get demonetized and I wouldn't know why, and I wouldn't understand. And, you know, slowly you understand. You start to figure out, okay, because of this, and then it's because of that, and then it's because of that, you know, so you figure it out, but you're still, as long as you're willing to keep pushing. The thing is, people get demonetized and then they give up, and it's like, don't give up, just keep going until they tell you that your channel's gone. Like, you just keep going, just keep on making videos and see what happens, you know, that's all. I just kept doing it, just see what happens, you know. This is the only thing I have, so it's not like I can be like, oh, I'm gonna go do the other thing that I do. This is it. Like, I want to be a present father. I want to be a present husband. So I have no choice. I have to make this work. You know,
how many hours a day do you are you recording?
I'm in front of the camera 8 hours a day.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Because sometimes what happens is you want to film videos for the next day sometimes. And sometimes you have to redo a video. And sometimes you're just sitting around researching, and you know, you make a video, you look into it a little bit, you realize that it's wrong, and then you got to get rid of that video. So I'm in front of the camera for like 8 hours a day. I'm probably going to start streaming because I'm in front of the camera so long.
That's badass, man. You fucking figured it out. Hustler. Look at you.
Yeah.
Just like, telling the truth. You know, you can't go wrong with the truth, because the truth is always going to, the truth is always going to be on the menu. You know, they're never going to take that shit off the menu. Like, just be truthful, just common sense, and everything will work itself out.
Yeah. That's exactly. Well, I mean, that's what it seems like, right? I tried to, you know what happens when you try to just do what you think is going to work, it falls apart. Like, when you go to episode 1, I'm like wearing dress clothes and I'm talking about like coaching stuff. Like, I'm Tony Robbins. I'm talking about, you know, positive thinking and habit formation. And then slowly I'm like, this isn't even me. I'm like, I sit around and talk about conspiracies all the time. Like, why don't I just do that? Like I do it every day with all my friends, with my wife. The first conversation me and my wife had was about Freemasons and secret societies. It's like, what am I running from? So I just embraced it and just started doing it.
Yeah. So what do you think's going on with Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard? They're all jumping on the Trump train. Like
All of them.
a lot of people think they're shills. A lot of people think, oh, you can't trust Elon, SpaceX, brain implants, electric cars. You can't trust RFK. He's a Kennedy. Tulsi Gabbard, WEF. Like it's
yeah.
Like what do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because even with Tulsi, when I first started this channel, I actually started with a video where I was breaking down Tulsi's World Economic Forum connection, because she kept saying I have no affiliation to it, and I was like, well, then why is everybody saying this? So I go way deep into her tweets. I go years, and I find a tweet of her thanking the World Economic Forum, and I'm like, oh, so you're lying. So you're making it up. You're saying you had no connection, but there actually was a connection. It was very interesting. So I find this tweet. I find what they wanted to help. They wanted to have her be a part of some, women of color type of thing. I find all this stuff. And then I find her doing the old, the old hand symbol. You know what I mean? I find a picture of her doing that. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So, you gotta decide if you're going to believe in her or not. In my mind, she was young. She gets a message from the World Economic Forum. She's a Democrat. So she's like, oh, thank you. She's doing what all robot politicians do. Somebody says, hey, you got this a reward. And she goes, oh, thank you. She should have checked out the World Economic Forum, what they were about. She said she did. She didn't want anything to do with it. So it's like, at that point, what do? Do you believe her? Or do you think she's this secret World Economic Forum person? You know what I mean? I don't know. The fact that she left the Democratic Party, the fact that she's been calling them out, after so much time, and then also that hand symbol she was doing, apparently they do that in Hawaii, apparently that's a Hawaiian thing. I found that out too.
Yeah, when it comes to hand symbol shit, there's a video of me. There's some guy. It's like, oh, he's a Freemason shill, because they're like, I'm on Sam Tripoli's podcast, and they're like freezing me doing like shit. Like, look, he's doing it in your face. He's doing it in your face. Look, he's doing it in your face. He's like, and I just talk with my hands. So before I saw that video, anytime someone would say, oh, you can't trust this guy, look at he's fucking throwing up Freemason signs, I would be like, damn. Anytime someone would say that, I would go, okay, I don't know if it's true, but I can't listen to that guy no more. If people are saying he's throwing up signs, I can't listen to it. But once they did that to me, I'm like, okay, now I got to go back and reevaluate all those fucking videos of people throwing up signs, because I know I'm not Freemason. You know what I mean? Only you know. Like, only I know, only you know. So when they start coming at me with that shit, I'm like, oh, shit. So now I think there's way less shills than I thought before. I thought everybody, I think the way controlled opposition works, the majority of the time, is controlled opposition doesn't know they're controlled opposition. That makes them more powerful, right? Like if you,
True.
if the deep state wanted a certain narrative pushed in the media, would it be smart for them to call like the head of ABC or CNN and say, hey, listen, we want to take over the world. We're demons, and we're gonna fucking what we need you to say is this and that. We're gonna take over the world. It's gonna be a one world government and blah, blah, blah. Or would it be more powerful to say, listen, don't listen. There's going to be a lot of Russian disinformation out there. We're telling you, we're the FBI. There's a lot of, and so it would be more powerful if they believe like, oh shit, I'm getting some intel from the CIA and the FBI saying that this is some Russian disinformation. So they're going to be more powerful about it, pushing the message and the agenda, right? So I think, like, you see it all the time. You see, like, was Tucker Carlson, because we know Fox is controlled opposition, but how does it work? does everybody at Fox, are they in on it, or do they need to be in on it? It's better if they're not in on it, because when you think about it, the whole media complex is all liberaled out, right? It's all liberals, but if they're smart, they make one conservative Fox News.
Yeah.
And it'd be smart. You got to have one opposed. So, and you don't have to tell everybody that works for Fox News what the agenda is, right? Because you don't have to, because all they have to do is say, hey, listen, any Republicans, you just praise the Republicans and you shit on the liberals. And when all the Republicans are like Mitt Romney and John McCain, they're all on the same team anyways. So you don't have to tell Fox News reporters and broadcasters and news anchors the whole story. You just all you have to do is just keep pushing the Republicans, because the Republicans they're all rhinos anyways. So you just keep pushing them, and that's how Fox News works. They're pushing the Republican side, but since the Republicans are all actually really liberals, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to tell them the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, Trump comes in, and he's representing Republicans. So people at the high level of Fox, like, oh shit, we told all our guys to push the Republicans, so everyone's pushing Trump now, and that's a problem. That's when the Fox problem starts, right? So you wonder, is Tucker Carlson, does he know like the whole agenda, or did they need to tell him? They just say they didn't need to tell him because he starts going against them. They have to get rid of him. So you start seeing like, damn, Tucker Carlson wasn't part of that. He's on a need to know basis, right?
You're right. I mean, I've experienced all this stuff, even with stuff with the hand symbols. Someone did the exact same thing to me. They wrote it in a comment. They're like, this guy puts his hand here when he's saying this, he puts his hand there, and this is what this means. And they were like breaking down everything I was doing. I was like, okay. I'm like, hey, same as you. All of a sudden, the hand gestures, I'm like, I can't give as much credence to the hand gestures and everything. Yeah. Right. But just working in film and television, you're right. Because I was at the lowest levels, and I am who I am. I've been this person the whole time, even when I was working in that highly leftist industry. I don't know anything that's going on. Yeah, I don't know about. Why would
they tell you? It would be stupid if they told you.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So everybody's not in on it. Definitely not. But I think it's a little bit of both when it comes to the media, right? I think that there are some guys who are clawing. They're clawing to be a part of it. So as soon as they get in the chair, they're like, I'll do whatever. I don't care. What did you tell me? Okay. What's the script say? Okay. They'll do whatever. They need to be in this. They've been clawing at it their whole life, right? And the same thing goes for a lot of actors too. They don't realize what they're getting into, and then they're there and it's too late. But there are some people who will come from intelligence and then get put into positions of being in the news.
Anderson Cooper.
There's a lot of that.
Rachel Maddow. There's a few of them. Like, like, what is it? What's Rachel Maddow's like host? Like, what's his? No, it's not Rachel Maddow. It's like the John something Scarborough, Joe Scarborough. And then his wife, right?
Yeah, his wife Mika, exactly. So
those motherfuckers go to the parties. That guy go to the parties.
That guy was a congressman.
Yeah.
That guy was a Republican congressman, Florida, in fact.
Crazy.
Yeah, right. So it's like, that's what I mean. It's like some of these people come from that politician, government type of place. Not all of them.
I would say a small percentage of them. I think it's more powerful. It's more powerful when the controlled opposition doesn't know they're controlled opposition. They actually believe they're doing the right thing, and they're getting intel from the CIA, and they think they're doing the right thing, and they're fighting the Russians. Then they're more believable and more powerful.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I mean, people talk about, like, they say that's how masonry works as well, right? The guys who are level 3, third degree Masons, no one knows what the 33 degree Masons know. They're just at the top. And they say once you pass that certain mark, you get let in on what everything really is. But until then, you're just a guy doing charity. You're just a guy going to meetings, and you just feel like this is the best thing ever, right? It's just a brotherhood. Apparently, I don't know anything about the Masons, in actuality. I've never been in at all, but yeah, they say that's how it works. And they say like once you get into the top, it's like you're worshiping Satan and nobody knows. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Were you into Q at all when it was happening?
No, I was. There was little funny things that I would look at because I actually had a friend. I had a friend who was into it a lot, and he would talk about JFK Jr. coming back, and he would talk about, he would show me little things where, Q says one thing and then Trump, like something with like a song. He'll say this song will play, and then all of a sudden, Trump would be on stage, that song would play, and Trump would be like, listen to the song, listen to the song. There'd be little things like that, but I never got heavy into it. Yeah. Somebody actually accused me of being Q, and I'm not, just for the reference.
Crazy how there were so many people into it, including me. I was into it. And then when Biden cheated and became president, everybody jumped off the Q bandwagon. They thought it was a 4-year plan, but now looking back, it's an 8-year plan because all the Q shit, a lot of it is happening. A lot.
Really?
It's crazy.
Interesting.
Q always said we're saving Israel for last, right? And look what's going on with Israel, right? Damn.
Wow.
Israel is the Israeli government and is on blast right now, right? It's on blast. Yeah. And you can't talk about it or they'll ruin you, they'll cancel you. That says a lot right there. Anything you can't talk about, like you can't talk about Sandy Hook. You can't talk about that shit. I wonder why. You can, and then they demonize Q. They went hard on Q. They made a HBO documentary like and they even had on one of the major networks, they go, hey, listen, we found Q. It's over. We found him. And then they had some guy in a silhouette and they altered his voice. And he was like, yeah, I'm Q. It started off as a joke. I was in my grandma's basement and, then it just got out of hand and it grew, at a rapid pace. And now, I'm just, I'm done doing it. So the MSM was like, okay, we found Q. It's over. They forgot they did that shit. That was huge. They said they found Q and they had the guy and it's over. Don't listen to Q no more. And they demonize Q. So QAnon this, QAnon. Like, why are they demonizing it so much? I wonder why.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, if they're saying that they found the guy, that means they probably did. And he probably, shot himself in the back of the head with a shotgun, You know how that goes?
Yeah. Clinton body count. I was into the Clinton body count. Like, they'll fuck you up. They'll come after you if you're trying to put anybody in prison. They'll come after you.
Can you see that picture?
Which one?
This one right here.
Are you? I don't see any picture. Are you sharing the screen? Try to share the screen with me.
No. It's like. Can you see me? Like it's behind.
I can see you.
Yeah. There's a whole picture behind me. This picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's small. Can you?
It's small.
Can you try to share your screen for me? Let me see what happens. Go to share screen. Have you ever done that? Let me see.
No, it's disabled. That's something that you can do right now. Because if you were in a Zoom meeting and you were doing like important stuff.
Let me see. Share.
But I was gonna say when it came to that's a picture of Anthony Bourdain with his last tweet on his face. That's what I have there behind me. A lot of people
so now you can share. Try sharing now. Now you can.
Yeah, it would work.
Share anything. Like try to share a video or anything like that. See what happens.
I don't know. I don't have anything to share. I don't want my shit. Well, I'm already frozen. I don't know.
Don't share no.
Don't share nothing.
Don't share any granny porn. I can't believe granny porn is so huge. It's like, are you into old chicks? Grannies near you want to fuck. Have you seen that shit? Dude, I'm telling you, like they're pushing granny porn. Like I don't get it. Like isn't that the worst kind of porn? Okay, there you go. Okay, you are sharing something. Okay, let's see.
It's just a whiteboard. I don't have anything to share though.
You don't have.
And now I don't know how to go back. We're
unshare.
boomers.
Try
how do you?
unshare.
Stop share. Oh,
okay, there we go. Now we're back.
Am I still there? Can you still see me?
Now I can't see you.
You can't?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Now you're back. Oh, now you're back.
Oh, and I'm back.
That's what happened. We had to share some screen stuff. Okay, now it's all good.
Damn. My thing was frozen for so long. But yeah, man, it's there's a lot to when it comes to Tulsi, going back to what you said, Tulsi and RFK and everything. I genuinely think it seems, and this is the thing, right? They're all politicians, right? So for the longest time, before all of this stuff, before MAGA and 2016 and all this stuff, we were always taught we can't trust politicians. Everybody was.
Yeah.
Right. So you can go with that mindset. I've researched her a lot. I've looked into the bad of her. I've called her out. Her team actually contacted me when I made that video that I was talking about. And they actually were trying to like explain away some things. And I was like, I don't really care. I made a video, it doesn't matter. Cause like by the time I make a video, I've already made 5 other videos and I forget what I even fucking did. But she seems genuine, if you're going to go on the fact of she seems very genuine. Joe, your boy Joe, he loves her. He loves her. Like if she was president, this guy would cry a tear. He would be like this. Like he'd be so happy, right? That says a lot to me. The fact that she left the Democratic Party, she's calling them out. That says a lot. The fact that she's endorsing Trump now at a time where that is not a popular thing to do. It is just not. She's already got put on a domestic terrorist watch list. She's probably going to get accused of being a Russian asset again. She's going to get attacked from all sides. She's never going to be able to go back to the Democratic Party. She'll probably never be able to hold any office unless, Trump or Vivek or some person ends up bringing her on as a VP, or she runs for president as an independent, maybe as a Republican. So it seems like the things she's done are not in favor. But if you want to play 5D chess, then it's like maybe all of this is just a ruse to trick everybody, So I understand all the layers that are possible, but I tend to trust her a little bit. When it comes to RFK, though, I did not trust RFK at first at all. And it wasn't because he was a Kennedy. I think the Kennedys are wild boys. JFK and RFK Sr., they're wild boys. They're giving the middle finger to the mafia.
Yeah, and they got their heads blown off.
Exactly.
So you would think if anybody was anti-CIA, it would be RFK Jr. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, he's a Kennedy. They're part of the establishment. I'm like, yo, his dad and his uncle got their heads blown off.
Yeah.
You don't think he has some skin in the game?
That exactly right. And then when you hear him talk, it seems very genuine. He's calling out BlackRock. He's calling out the housing industry. He's calling out central digital bank currencies, whatever it is. He's calling out all this stuff. And then at the end of it all, when he can just keep on keeping on and take away votes from Trump, he says, I'm pulling out of the race because I don't want to take votes away from Trump. And I want to help Trump get into this position. And then at the end of it, it's like, I just want to save millions of children's lives. It's like, it's hard not to trust that guy. He seems genuine to me. That's just me.
What about Elon?
But then when it comes to Elon wants to put chips in everybody's brain. And I think that's the mark of the beast. I'm going to be honest with you.
Maybe that's what he was into before. But
now
he's awakening, because now when he interviewed Trump, he was saying, I don't want to demonize fossil fuel. I'm like, oh, look at him. He doesn't want to demonize fossil fuel. It seems like, when people, when you have your show and I have my show and all these guys that are red-pilled are trying to awaken people, that's our goal. We're trying to awaken people. We post facts, post a video, trying to awaken people. And what people don't understand, a lot of people that are that are awakening people, it's like once they awaken, dude, they're awakening to like one layer, like whether it was the scamdemic or whatever, you're awakening to one fucking layer. There's 1,000 layers that they got to come back to. So you got to give them time, like 8-10 years to fully awaken, because there's so much shit. So you awaken someone. Can you imagine awakening someone and then talking shit on them for what they said 2 years ago? Like, do you just awaken them? It worked. You awaken them. Now you're going to talk shit on what they said 5 years ago? They weren't awake back then. Let them catch up and reassess all the shit. You got to go back and reassess all that shit. Because there's a lot of people that are awakened. Like even Joe. Joe's awakened. He is, and the scamdemic did it. But then he'll say stuff like, Trump is this, Trump is like all the negative shit you heard about Trump. That's the media that you're talking shit on. I want that upper body clench. That's what I'm going after. With the underhook, looking for double underhooks. That's a juicy ass clench. Perfect double underhooks. You're on your side. Boom. That's all perfect. That's huge. In my game, for me, I'm like, I got this motherfucker. First fight in Abu Dhabi, 2003, against Gustavo Dantas. I got right in and got perfect double underhooks. I'm like, oh my God, I had him in a lockdown, perfect double underhook, really quick. He just gave it to me. I'm like, and I was just sitting there going, oh my God, he just gave it to me. That was just off a front headlock, 100%. Push into him. You want to smash him and then jump on that leg. You want to rush them so they don't have so they're off balance. You jump on that leg, you hook that leg, you're gonna take their back or put them in the truck. Either one. Does that make sense? Everybody loved Trump. Trump has always been like, I always knew Trump as like some rich dude who's banging models, and he's like, he loves his country and he does good shit for people. You know, he was always like doing, like he was always helping people. This guy
donated money to Joe Scarborough and his wife when their daughter needed it.
Yeah. And then, you know, when you listen to what Mike Tyson says about Trump, and when you listen to what Herschel Walker says, like these black people, like they love him, and they're like, he's racist. Like, what means? How is he racist? Yeah, it's like because he said we got criminals coming through the border illegally. Of course we do. You can't just let anybody through the fucking border unvetted. Like common sense. You got to vet people. And
no, he's been on point with everything he said.
At this point, you know, when it comes to Elon and when it comes to, you know, I know he's like doing SpaceX. I think he's awakening, and I think he's going back. Like he's like what he said to Trump. He's like, I don't want to demonize fossil fuels. Like, oh, look at you. You know, so he's like, he's not all about anti-fossil fuel no more. He's in the process of fully awakening. I really believe that. And at this point, like today, Elon backing Trump, Tulsi backing Trump, RFK backing. I gotta go full blown with that. I'm with that. Because what's the other choice? The other choice.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
We know the other side are demons. We know that. That's 1,000,000%. Now the Trump side, the Tulsi side, the Elon Musk side, it's not 100%. There could be some kind of trick that we're not getting right now. We're not piecing it together. Maybe they just want to cause civil war, and maybe they give the right the truth on the left so that we fight, and then the Great Reset is complete. Maybe that's the overall game. Maybe that's long game. It's like, the Republicans, right now they have all the dirt on the liberals, and the liberals are way more corrupt than the Republicans. Republicans are corrupt, but it's way easier to corrupt a liberal than it is a conservative, because generally conservatives got a little Jesus on them. Their family values, Constitution. It's harder to corrupt Republicans, although they're easily corruptible too, but not as easy as the liberals. The liberals are like, you know, it's so easy to corrupt. I mean,
tolerance. Yeah. Tolerance. Once you have too much tolerance, you're very easy to corrupt.
So I get it. It's not the Republicans and the Democrats, they're both corrupted, but it's not even. It's like, oh my God, it's dead even. The liberals are way more corrupt than the Republicans. It's not even. It's not like, oh my God, it's a tie. It's not a tie. It's not a tie. It's way easier to corrupt the liberals than it is Republicans.
The liberals are moving towards communism. And it's funny because I heard Dave Smith, and he's like, Kamala Harris is not a communist. She's not a Marxist. And he was talking about how dumb that is. And I'm like, I thought this guy was smart politically, honestly.
Who, Dave Smith?
But yeah, he said that. And I was like,
saying what?
He's saying she's not a Marxist. She's not even close to a communist. He goes, it's just language. She's just using Marxist socialist language. That's all it is.
You know what? I could respect that. I respect that.
But it's not. But you can't respect it because
so that's dumb. She doesn't even know what I don't even think she knows what Marxism is.
Her father is a Marxist. This is confirmed too. A lot of people keep saying that it's alleged. The guy's name is funny enough, Donald J. Harris against Donald J. Trump, but his name's Donald J. Harris. He was an economic Marxist. I actually had one of his papers. See, I wish I had that to pull up, but there's one of his papers. It's a PhD. Sorry, it's not a PDF. So with a PDF, when you're on the internet, you press Control F, so you can find any word. I type in the word Marx for Karl Marx. Bro, the word Marx, the name Marx comes up like 257 times. This guy's whole work of this book that he wrote was based on Karl Marx. Karl Marx is the Marxist. He's the person who was named Marx. He's the guy who started this whole thing. Her father was deep into that guy's work and was expanding on it and was trying to teach it in universities. So to think that she doesn't actually know, even if she's dumb, the dumbest people, if their dads are lawyers and they're around their dads all the time, they're going to know a little something. Yeah. They're not going to know just nothing. You know what I mean? So she knows what Marxism is. She knows when she says we need equity because we need everyone to end up in the same place. A lot of people don't understand that's a direct quote from Marx. She's changing it a little bit, but that's exactly what Marx said. And she said it repeatedly. So it's not just that she's using language. She's quoting Marx. And then she's bringing up price controls as her way of helping the country. Cuba tried price controls. Look where Cuba is, and look what Cuba is, communist. Venezuela tried price controls. Soviet Union tried price controls. All of these communist socialist places tried price controls. And what happens? Exactly what happened with Venezuela. Venezuela started price controls in 2014. By 2017, inflation was up 800%, and they were a failed nation. It took 2 years. That's all it took. And she's talking about the exact same thing. So yeah, she's a little dumb. She's a little airheaded. But the fact that she's saying all of these things that are directly from Marx, her dad was a Marxist, and then people are like, she's not a Marxist. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah. You got me, dog. You got me.
That's like my dad. That's like my dad's a pastor.
All I knew he was Jamaican. That's it. I knew he was Jamaican. That's it.
Yeah. But he was a professor. He was an actual Marxist. He was very much into that world.
Oh, she was
yeah,
she's like a Manchurian candidate. She like Obama. Obama was perfect because Obama.
She's Obama Hillary Clinton. That's what she is.
Damn.
That's exactly what she is.
Damn.
She's colored. She's having the whole thing about I worked at McDonald's and yes we can, and when we fight we win. And then she's walking around like Hillary Clinton, laughing like a maniac. She's Hillary Clinton and Obama put together.
Damn.
That's exactly what she is.
Wow.
She is not to be trusted.
I thought she was too dumb to be a Marxist. That's what I thought. I didn't know her dad was like so
listen, I'm of the notion, okay, this is just my thought. If you're living in America in 2014 and you think Marxism, socialism, and communism is a good idea to even touch on briefly in this society, you are dumb.
Yeah.
You're not intelligent, or you're evil. It's one of the two. And that's the thing with Karl Marx. Karl Marx said he needs all things to collapse, all structures, all sources of government to collapse in order for him and his ideology to rise as the creator. And what is Kamala Harris back? She backs defunding the police. She backs an open border, things that will actually destabilize and actually bring down certain parts of government. And, I'll throw the police in there, police departments as a part of government. She tried to actually tear them down. She said she wanted to rethink them. We have to rethink police forces. It's crazy. The things she's done. And then also she was she was backing, and she actually put a Twitter post about some foundation that was actually helping to bail out the people who were doing the BLM rioting. Yeah. And a bunch of people who were criminals got bailed out because of her. She's terrible. And then on the other side, when people think, oh, how is she this leftist? She was a hard prosecutor. All she was doing was breaking up black families in California. That's all she was doing. 1,500 men. They probably weren't all black. It's probably some Hispanic, some white, how LA is, how California is. But still, she was breaking up families. That's another thing that communists want to do. They want to make the family unit, the nuclear family unit, they need to destabilize it. And that's what she was doing. If you look throughout her career, you can see these hints of Marxism. You can see these hints, and she's moving towards it faster and faster since she's ran for president. It's gross. I don't like Kamala Harris.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I meant by, at this point, I don't know if Elon's a trick. I don't know if Tulsi's a trick. I don't know if RFK Jr.'s a trick. But they're all banding together against the Biden regime. I'm with that. I'm willing to, because we know 1,000,000% the one side are demons, and we know 50-50 the other side could be some kind of long game trick. But I'm going to go with the 50-50 over the 1,000%, 100%.
100%. Because when you look at it, it's like, who in their right minds? And, I guess there are some people, when it comes to the voting, but who really looks at what Biden and Harris have done and think these are the good guys?
Are you guys ready for your next comment? Please welcome to the stage the #1 Mexican American on this flat earth. Please welcome Eddie Bravo!
ProPen, the Eddie Bravo signature line, available now in licensed shops in California.
Can you imagine we're being brainwashed into thinking that the Biden regime, the people, it's not really them, it's like the people controlling them. They're really Biden's just a puppet. He's on the beach, he's past that, he don't know shit. But to think that there's a chance that we're being brainwashed and it turns out Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are actually good people. Like,
they're the good guys.
Can you imagine? We've been tricked.
Nancy Pelosi.
Jerry Nadler is a good guy.
When she makes $100 million insider trading, man, she just sends it all to charity. What do you mean?
What if that's all bullshit? What if she, I don't have millions of dollars. Everyone thinks I'm a fucking multimillionaire. What if she makes like $80K a year, and we're being brainwashed into thinking she has like $400 million in assets.
Listen.
It's possible that she's actually a good, like Nancy Pelosi is actually, we've been brainwashed. Can you imagine if she's actually a good person? What if she's good?
Man, people have been following her stock trades for way too long, man. It's confirmed by multiple people who are following her trades that she does better than Warren Buffett and Bill Gates combined.
And then it turns out her father has mad mob ties, and it makes sense. Like the mob. It's a good move. Like if you're in the mob, get your kids into politics and put them into the police. Put them into law enforcement. So you got some people on the inside working for you. You know what I mean?
Of course.
They make them lawyers. Like you want your kids to be lawyers, cops, politicians. Like that would be if I was a mobster.
That's what you want.
I'd be like, you guys are lawyers, dog. Politicians get into city government, just in case I get busted.
They say Gavin Newsom is her nephew.
Yeah. I'm like, it all makes sense, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like,
but yeah, man, I agree with you. I think people should be trusting that side of things. The whole thing with Elon Musk is the brain chips. I don't like the brain chips. But everything else that I'm seeing this guy do, other than wearing that Satan suit and that one Halloween, everything else I see this guy do, it's pretty trustworthy. And again, you do have to leave room, especially for myself as a Christian, you have to leave room that people actually are able to wake up to the bad that they're doing or the bad that they're involved with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe Elon was into brain chips, because it seems like he's just like the figurehead of SpaceX. Like he really, the guy still thinks we're going to Mars. Either he is in the know with the Illuminati, and or he's just a figurehead, and he actually believes we can get to Mars. Like, maybe he really believes that shit. You know what I mean? Maybe the brain chip thing was this, him being the head of this company with this idea, and they're like, Elon, we're going to be able to put brain chips in people's heads, and we're going to be able to take quadriplegics and have them do this. So we're going to take super sick people and have them do that with the brain chip. Maybe he's on that brain chip thing, and maybe he's not on or maybe he's awakening going, fuck. Maybe he's like, yo, we didn't go to the fucking moon. Because if Elon still thinks we went to the moon, that's a problem. You know what I mean? The whole thing where he launched Tesla into space, it's on a 1 billion-year orbit around the sun. You know what I mean? And the first thing he said,
really,
press conference. You missed that? Where he
no, I know that there's something.
They launched the car. Remember that for like 5 years ago? He launched.
But he said it's gonna orbit for 1 billion years.
It's on a 1 billion-year orbit around the sun. Can you imagine even coming to that fucking conclusion? Where did you get that information from? Like, how did you come to that conclusion? It's on a 1 billion-year orbit around the car. His car, his Tesla that they launched into space. And you've seen the video of it. Like, there's video of it. It's like,
yeah, I've seen it sitting there.
Green screen, dog. It's like, come on. You think that's fucking real? You think that's real? And the very first thing he says in the press conference, once they launched his Tesla in the fucking orbit, the first they go, Elon, press conference, Elon.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your fucking Tesla in space? Like, how crazy is that? And how long are we going to be able to keep in contact with it? And the first thing he says, he goes, well, I think it's ridiculous and impossible. And, you know, if we were going to do something fake, we would make it way faker. What did he say? It's like, if it was, you could tell it's real because it looks so fake. That's what he said.
Oh.
You could tell it's real because it looks so fake.
The next question from Marcia Dunn at Associated Press.
Marcia Dunn, AP. What was going through your mind? How amazed were you to see your roadster up there with Starman just cruising along with the Blue Planet? And how long will we be getting live views, do you think, from the car?
Well, I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible. And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly. We'd have way better CGI if it was fake. And you know, the colors all look kind of weird in space. There's no atmospheric occlusion. You know, like everything looks too crisp. But we didn't really test any of those materials for, you know, is it space hardened or whatever, you know. So it just has the same seats that like a normal car has. It's just literally a normal car in space, which I kind of like the absurdity of that. And if you look closely, on the dashboard, there's a tiny roadster with a tiny spaceman. So, because Hot Wheels made a Hot Wheels roadster, and a friend of mine suggested, hey, why don't you put that Hot Wheels roadster with a tiny spaceman on the, you know, in the car too? I'm like, that'd be cool. Sure. So we did that. I mean, it's kind of silly and fun, but I think that's, you know, silly, fun things are important. And normally for a new rocket, you know, they'd launch like a block of concrete or something like that. I mean, that's so boring. And I think that's just the imagery of it is something that's going to get people excited around the world.
That's the first thing the first statements he said in the press conference. So at that point, maybe he knew it was a hoax and it was like, you know what, it'll be a good promotion. You know, we pretend we launch your car, we sell your car, you got to do this for us. And he's like, okay, what? It's not gonna hurt nobody. Okay, I don't know. I need some fucking him to do some splaining to me.
Have you ever got to meet him or what?
No.
No, Joe keeps Elon away from you. Joe's like, there's no chance I'm letting Eddie Bravo meet Elon Musk.
Hey, listen, I want to believe that he's awakening, and I want to believe that, hey, maybe Joe is part of awakening him, because they're buddies, and Joe's in the process of awakening, you know what I mean? 5 years ago, Joe wasn't where he is now,
Definitely not.
It took all that shit they were doing to him in the media and all the smear campaigns, then he fucking awakened. Then he's like, oh shit, this is legit stuff.
I think they are trustworthy. I think Trump is also trustworthy. I mean, the guy takes a shot. The guy loses money every time he runs for president. The guy, doesn't take a salary. The economy actually was better when he was president. There was a lot of things happening for black and brown people throughout the country. He made sure there was no war. I think like what he did, the one thing that people don't like is that he did Operation Warp Speed. But aside from all of that, he handled his presidency very well, very well. And we will look back, especially in regards to war, we will look back and realize that out of him, Obama, George Bush Jr., Clinton, Biden, we will look and see that he was the best president.
Trump, greatest president of all fucking time.
Yeah.
Who's got bigger balls than that guy? They gave that guy everybody. Russian agent. Back in the day, you if it was rumored you were a Russian agent, you're fucked. Bay. So they gave him Russia. They gave him rape allegations. They gave him racism. He was not racist. He's not racist. He's the furthest fucking thing from racist. He just calls shit out the way there. I'm Mexican. I know fucking MS-13 coming through the border. I know that shit. Vet those motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So, as far as Operation Warp Speed, have you heard the theory on what that could have been all about? Because he was anti-vax. Did you know that?
Well, I didn't know that, but after the conversation with him and RFK got leaked by RFK's son, he was talking like somebody that was very anti, because in the conversation that was leaked, I don't know if you saw it, but he called RFK right after his assassination attempt. And he was just talking about, he's like, kids used to get, just a few of them in their lifetime. He goes, now they get hundreds of these shots. He's like, it's just too much. He's like, and I don't understand it. And I don't like what I'm seeing. And it would be really good for you. He was talking about getting RFK in charge of looking after stuff like that and really digging deep into it. So he was talking like somebody that was anti, definitely.
Yeah. There's some people that think that the plan was with the lockdown is to keep the lockdown going for 10 years. And everybody knew it was standard that it takes 10 years to come up with a vaccine. That's standard. I mean, Fauci's talked about it. I mean, it's standard. When you go through all three phases of the testing and the trials, it takes 10 years. So there's people that believe that the plan was drag it out 10 years, kill the economy, drag it all out, and then in 10 years when they have the vaccine, the whole vaccine passport infrastructure will be set in stone. So the theory is Trump knew it was all bullshit. But instead of going anti-vax, he went pro-vax. And so pro-vax that he made deals with Big Pharma to get this motherfucker out in 8 months and get it out quick in record time, not 10 years. Because if I get this out in 8 fucking months, the vaccine passport infrastructure, that's what the New World Order was all about, is that vaccine passport. Once they had the vaccine passport all situated, we're fucked. So the theory is Trump said, you know what, instead of going anti-vax and where they're going to clog the news feeds with me being anti-vax, how about I go super pro-vax and we get that vaccine out in fucking 8 months, and it's going to kill a lot of people. People are going to get fucked up from it. But if you take it, it's on you. You're going to take it anyways. Whether it doesn't matter what Trump said. I'm a Trump fan, but Trump could say the vaccine's a beautiful thing. I'm still not going to take it.
No, of course not.
So I think the plan was Go pro-vax. Get this motherfucker out in 8 months. Have it fuck people up. You know, either it's like the art of war. We go down this valley, we're gonna lose fucking 500,000 soldiers. We go down this valley, we're gonna lose 25,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
You know, either 25,000 or 500,000. Let's go this way. There's gonna be casualties of war. So the idea was that the vaccine was approved way too early, way before they had the infrastructure for the vaccine passport set worldwide, that it fucked everything up. That was a theory. And guess what? Where are the vaccine passports now? Fucking in the garbage. They're in the garbage. They're in the garbage. Where are they at? They're gone. The vaccine passport, it turns out there was no fucking worldwide database. People could have faked it and had fake shit, and people were faking it and fake cards and all that shit, and it didn't even fucking matter. Where's that shit now? So that was a theory before the vaccine passports were officially obliterated. That was a theory. They were all talking about it. The reason why Trump, think about it, Operation Warp Speed. Yeah. That's the last fucking thing you want to call a vaccine on. Warp speed? You want to call it Operation Take Your Time, do all the phases and the trials and do it right, make sure it's safe. But he said Operation Warp Speed is the last thing you want for trials. Warp speed.
Yeah. That's true.
And he was dropping anti-vax tweets 2011, 2013, and then all of a sudden he's pro-vax. And you know his son, Donald Trump Jr., he's totally anti-vax. His whole family. And you don't think he is? You don't think he is? But his sons are? Him and his sons are tight as fuck. I think that was a ploy. I think it was a ploy to kill the vaccine passport. So when you hear Trump bragging about, like, remember me, I'm the one who did the vaccine, remember? And people are like, I can't believe he's bragging about it. He's still bragging about it. I think he's bragging about killing the vaccine passports. That's what I think. That's some 5D chess. That's what I think.
That's
Where's the vaccine passport at? Where's it at? It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
And everybody knew. Alex Jones talking about the vaccine passport was the key to one world government. And it's fucking gone. It's gone.
Yeah. That's true. Because it would have just linked to everything. It would have just linked to your credit. The social credit system would have kicked in, and we would have been done.
And you know what? If people didn't get fucked up from the vaccine and people didn't die with the myocarditis and all that, we wouldn't be anti-vax now. As a nation, we're kind of anti-vax now. Because of that, we need people to the dumb people to fucking take it and get fucked up.
Bro.
That's what's happening. That's what happened. That's what happened.
I don't
look it and they got fucked up.
I don't laugh sinisterly or anything. I don't want anything to happen to anybody. But bro, some people are on their 10th shot.
Yeah.
Some people took the vaccine 10 times. Holy Jesus.
You know what?
Oh my God.
If you're taking it and you got fucked up, you fucked up. Like we were trying
my buddy, good friend of mine, he said one shot he got the myocarditis, and then he didn't want to go through with the second, and then he was just branded as not vaccinated. Because if you don't take it all, then it's like all or nothing. It's crazy.
And now the reason why there were so many anti-vaxxers in regards to the COVID vaccine was because all the other vaccines have documentaries on them. The measles vaccine, that's a whole nother, there's documentaries on it. The polio vaccine, documentaries on it. Every vaccine, there's a documentary on how fucked up it is, and all the bullshit and all the bullshit studies and Fauci and all that shit. They're all so. When the COVID vaccine came out, that's why there was so many anti-vaxxers. We already went through this. Nobody believed it for a second. Like, who's gonna take this shit? And now, man, I think there's more anti-vaxxers than ever before. I think the COVID vaccine thing it fucked it up for big pharma as far as all the childhood vaccines, because a lot of people aren't even giving their kids the childhood vaccines no more because they realize you can't trust big pharma. Like those motherfuckers. I don't think vaccines were ever designed for health. I think vaccines were always designed to fuck you up, to make you a long life customer for big pharma. That's what I think.
Especially, or maybe it's like a slow dumbing down of people every time you get something. Because I have to say, I had really bad learning issues. Like I said, last time I got one, I was 8 years old. I had horrible concentration and learning issues. Until I was like 10 or until I was about 13 years removed from ever getting one, all of a sudden I felt smarter. I felt clearer, and I can't link it to it. But as soon as my doctor wanted me to get, I don't even know what it was, but she was like, "Oh, you have to get this one." And I was like, "I'm not doing it." Because I feel better not having all of these shots. I don't know. And then when it comes to kids, because I just had, my baby's only 7 months, right? At like 3 months, they want the baby to get shots.
Fuck that.
And I'm like, even when they're born, there's a shot that they want them to take. And I'm like,
when they're born, the day they're born, they want to give them the hepatitis B vaccine.
Yeah. It's like vitamin K and stuff.
Yeah. Like, why would you give a newborn, and this is crazy, why would you give a newborn a hepatitis B vaccine when you only can get hepatitis B when sharing needles? You know what the answer is? Two answers. First of all, there's no room on the schedule. They're all taken up by all the shots. Day one is the only day that's open. Yeah. That's the first one. That's the first. And then the second one is, because when they're adults, they're not going to get it. So it's better if we give it to them when they're a newborn, day one. Like,
bro, I was telling my wife, I'm like, the only thing the kid needs right now is breast milk and sleep and love. That's it. That's all they need.
Breast milk. My wife breastfed my son till he was 3.5. That was a big ass toddler. Still, we just took him as long as possible, sucking on that tit as long as possible. Breast milk, that's the best shit. My son's super healthy as fuck, not a fucking drip.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, because we're gonna have another one soon. Probably, we're gonna start. We're gonna try in about, I don't know, 6 months. 6 months, we're gonna try and get another one. So she's gonna be breastfeeding for a while. We want to have like four or five.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm going for it.
Man.
Not playing around, bro, because you got to do it. You got to do it, man.
So what's next for you as far as your podcast? What's the latest shit you're looking into?
Oh, I mean, right now it's like it's an election cycle, right? So it's like real focused in. The thing is, also I have 2 channels, right? I have the channel where I'm focusing on a lot of Rogan and Tucker Carlson content, and then I'm expanding on that and doing little reports on the things they talk about. But then on the other channel, I'm talking about just straight news, just straight up, like the stuff that I want to touch on. There's some things Joe doesn't want to talk about. There's something Tucker Carlson doesn't want to talk about. So I talk about it on that second channel that I have. I call that one Coach COLIN Media. So I'm working out the 2 channels right now, but it's an election cycle. Everything's touching on the election, and it's funny because I watch Joe so much. He's trying to stay away from election talk, especially what happened with RFK. He's like trying to stay away from that stuff right now. But that's where it's
interesting that you notice that.
Oh, bro, I don't know him obviously, but I focus in. I can see like when I saw you two, because I've watched for years. So the way that it was years ago and the way that it is now, when you bring stuff up, I'm like, oh, this is a clear difference. So I noticed a lot of things, but he's trying to stay away from it because of what happened with RFK. You want to, shots get fired. All of a sudden Trump is calling you out on Twitter. And it's just like, obviously he just wants to step back, talk to a philosopher, talk to Russell Crowe, have a nice time. That's what he should do. Have a good time. Why not? But the main focus right now is the election cycle, and what's next. I have a show idea that I want to start doing. We're going to be probably traveling the USA. I want to go to every single state, and we're going to be having some conversations that way. But also, I just want to start doing it live. I just want to start doing the podcast live. I want to start streaming. I want to start doing it live on stage. And actually, this is my idea. This is what I want. I want to do it live on stage, and then I want to have a town hall type of meeting where the people in the audience get to talk about the issues that are going on within that neighborhood, within that place, what they feel about politics, what they feel about the candidates, what they feel about the economy, what's going on with them. I want to start making it like that. I want it to be a stand-up show, my podcast, and then like a town hall thing. just all.
Do you get a lot of heat from black people?
Yeah, bro. I've sounded like I'm white forever, so black people have not.
They call you
not
Uncle
liked me
Tom and
much.
all that.
Yeah. Uncle Tom. I remember when my first video I put out, somebody said, you're Candace Owens ripoff. You're just a Candace Owens ripoff.
Meanwhile, Candace Owens is like one of the greatest human beings that's ever lived.
She's not playing around.
That chick has the biggest balls of all. Candace fucking Owens. She crushes. You don't want to get in a fucking debate with her if you're a libtard.
Yeah,
She'll
never.
Fuck you up.
I would never accept a debate with her.
She's the greatest. I mean, I would vote for her as president. She ran for president. I trust her. I trust Candace. Candace Owens is amazing, man. I have tremendous.
She's.
For her. I mean,
but yeah, I get a lot of flack from black people, obviously, especially when I talk about the black community, because I'm not a fan of it. And honestly, I don't come from the black community. I grew up in an Orthodox Jewish neighborhood. Okay, so the black people who are around.
Zionist.
Yeah, right. I grew up, but the thing is, the one thing I take from there, because I experienced a lot of racism and all sorts of stuff, but I also experienced a lot of good people. But the thing that I take away from that community is that if the black community would just suck it up and act like that community for a little while, invest in each other, stick together, if they would just do that for just a generation, it would dramatically change black people's situation. Yeah. Like Jewish people, the demon elite, they do what the Netanyahu and all that. The demon elite, they do what they do, whether it's black, white, Jewish. But what Jewish people do, the regular people, they take care of each other on a different level. Kind of like you're Mexican, no?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of like Mexicans. It's a lot like you would see with Mexicans. Mexicans tend to take care of each other. If they're family, they're real family.
You don't see too many homeless Mexicans.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Bring you in. They'll put 50 people in a house.
Exactly. You don't see homeless Jewish. You don't see that stuff, man. They really take care of each other on another level. So, that's the main thing I get the most flack for talking about.
You know what I love seeing? I love seeing black people interviewing other black people and trying to open their eyes to.
Yeah.
I love seeing that because it just seems like the Democratic Party has just hypnotized the black community for decades.
It's a spell, man. It's a spell that they've incentivized them to be in this state of depravity and not taking care of their kids. It's a whole thing that was kind of done. They were incentivized. The women were incentivized to not be with the men back in the 60s. You would get money if you had a kid and you weren't with your husband. If you could prove you weren't with the husband, you would get money. And then the men got to just fuck off and go do whatever they wanted to do. It was this whole thing that they actually set up. And then you throw drugs in the mix. And then it was easy to just separate them. Because what's the strongest thing? The strongest thing is the family unit.
Yep.
If a family's together, if the husband is taking care of the wife and the wife's taking care of the kids, and the husband is connected to God, there's nothing, the state can't come and tell that unit anything. They say, if it's against my husband's will, I'm not going to do it. If it's against my parents' will, I'm not going to do it. And the husband says, if it's against God's will, I'm not going to do it. That's the strongest thing. So they want to break that up at all costs. Yeah. Because now what you see, what they did to black people back then, they're doing to everybody now.
Yeah.
They're doing it to white people. They're doing it to Mexico. They don't give a shit.
It's all, the whole divide and conquer thing. There's so many ways you could divide people.
Of course.
So many, like any good idea that will divide people, they green light all that shit. Like,
of course,
how about sex in movies? They go, yeah, that's going to make men want to cheat. Yes, green light.
Yeah.
What about feminism? Yes, that's going to make the woman think she's trapped raising her kids. Because when I was growing up, if a girl got pregnant, her life was over. Like, you're never going to be able to go to the parties, and all your friends are going to go to clubs without you. And you're like, oh my God, I'm having a baby, and they're not going to want to go to parties with me no more. They had everybody thinking that if you had a kid, that it was over. It's the worst fucking thing. Having a kid it's your life is over. They got everyone believing that shit. And think about this. You know how the CIA and Mossad, they fund and finance and create like Al Qaeda, Taliban, and all that shit. You know that? Why do they do that? Why do they fund them? Because they want the boogeyman. They want the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Dude, I'm starting to think like KKK and neo-Nazis and all that shit are also funded by intelligence. That's what I'm thinking, right?
Well,
I'm thinking like they're always talking about white supremacy being like the biggest problem, and like, where is this white supremacy at? Is it I don't know. Is the KKK, is that like some kind of psyop funded by, they take a bunch of crazy poor white kids and get them, oh yeah, black people are the problem. Let's fight against black people. You know what I mean? It's almost like Al Qaeda, because I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that, like, where is this white supremacy? Is like, why are people killing themselves to come into this country if white supremacy is like the problem? Where is this white supremacy at? It doesn't seem like, because you can talk about white people all you want, you're not going to get any repercussions. You could say the worst shit about white people all day on all the networks, and no one's going to come after you. As soon as you say shit about, you know what I'm talking about, all of a sudden you're canceled. Like, who's really running shit? Running shit?
They're the black people of yesteryear. You know, the way that you used to be able to talk about black people, you know, way back 60s, 70s, you know, you could just it was acceptable to call them Negroes or whatever back then. And you were able to buck break them. You were able to knock the cocky ones down. That's exactly what they're doing to white guys today. If a white guy's too cocky, he's misogynistic, he's too aggressive, he's this, that, they beat him down until he becomes a soft, liberal, puddle, male feminist type of dude, just eating soy. They do it constantly, man. It's buck breaking. They're doing it to white people in mass.
Dude,
they're going hard on white people.
For all your 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu merchandise, please visit 10thplanetjj.com/shop. We also got a Look Into It t-shirt that just dropped. Thank you very much for your support. And you're starting to see the rise of anti-Semitism. White people are fed up with this shit. White people are, like, I know white people, they're like, you know what? Fuck this shit. You guys are trying to bury white people. I'm white. Fuck you. So you're starting to see like blowback now.
You're starting to see
regular ass white people. It's like, fuck you.
You're starting to see white people do what black people started to do when they were feeling oppressed by these unknown forces. Everybody was coming. They're starting to feel the same thing. And when it was happening to black people back then, it was very much an agency government thing that was happening. And it's the same thing with white people today. White people are not a problem. They're the people. Well, you know, white men are the people who build up. They could build an America if they want. Yeah. They could assemble. They're a massive group that if they're annoyed enough or mad enough, they could do something. They could do things. You know,
show me the white people that are running everything, that are running white supremacy. Give me their names. Give me a list. Give me their names of these white supremacists. These white supremacists that are running society. Give me a list and let me see their last names. Let's focus on what their last names. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, like, what are we doing over here?
I'm telling you, it's you know, the white guys. That's why I always say America is the only place, right? North America, is the only place where the black people are taught to be ashamed of slavery. The white people are taught to be ashamed of, their ancestors. Everybody is taught to be ashamed. You're taught to be ashamed of being gay. It's this whole victim thing. It's the only place in Africa there's no shame about slavery, and it's still happening to this day. In Europe, there's no shame about being white at all. Why should there be? There's no shame anywhere else. In this place, they make sure that you are ashamed of what you are. It's a destabilization tactic. It's demoralization. Yeah. And then it's easier to bring about destabilization.
That's that Yuri Bezmenov shit.
Yes,
demoralized
exactly.
Society. Man.
It's a demoralize, destabilize, crisis, normalcy.
I'm gonna be right
to
back.
Normal.
I gotta take another piss.
Do it. Eddie Bravo, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Eddie Bravo, bringing it like nobody else can. Let me tell you something. On my channel, I do not talk like this. I try to stay to a certain point. I try not to go too deep. But for Eddie, I mean, you can't do that. That's like Snoop Dogg walks up and he's like, "You want to smoke?" And you're like, "Oh, sorry, I don't smoke anymore." No, you say, "Okay." If I was sitting down with Joe Rogan, and Joe's like, "You want to smoke a joint?" I'd be like, "Well, I've been sober for 2 years, but I guess light it. What are you supposed to do?" You know what I mean? So you got to go deep with Eddie Bravo. That's why I brought my tinfoil Speedo. I always wear it because, there's deep waters to go into. It's been a great podcast so far. I want to ask Eddie about hillbillies. I don't know if you guys have followed Eddie through other podcasts that he's been on, but there was one podcast where he was on and he was talking about hillbillies. And he had this really interesting insight about hillbillies, and it kind of touches on what we're talking about right now. He's right. I can just talk and talk, but it touches on what we're talking about right now because we've been really taught to demonize hillbillies, and he saw it in a completely different way. And ever since, you guys don't know me, I'm working towards having farmland. I'm working towards, one day having my own cattle. I definitely want my own chickens in the very near future. I want to be self-sufficient in that way, especially starting at food and water. I want to have my own, So I want to talk to him about that. I definitely want to know where he's at with the UFOs and all the disclosure stuff because, Joe Rogan, he was just interviewing a guy, and one sentence that the guy said threw me off so much. He's like, "Oh, well, the Pentagon said that I can't say this." And I'm like, what? What is this? What kind of conversation are we having? Guy from the Pentagon can't, you know what I mean? And then I want to talk about AI as well. So just so you know, that's where the conversation is going to go. And Eddie will obviously detour it wherever he wants to go. And I'll let that happen. But this is a very interesting time. Guys, just so you know, I'm in my spare room right now and used to look up to Eddie Bravo. And now I'm here actually talking with him. You can do it too. Definitely give it a try. I was just talking to the audience about one thing that you brought up, and it touches on what we were just talking about. I heard you on another podcast, and I couldn't find the clip, and I couldn't remember what podcast it was. And you were talking about hillbillies, and you were talking about how we're taught to demonize hillbillies.
Yeah.
But in reality,
it makes sense because you want to demonize self-sufficient people, so you call them hillbillies. You want that's what it is. Because really, what are hillbillies? Hillbillies don't need the government. Hillbillies are out in rural areas, fending for themselves, growing their own food and raising their. That's not good for socialism. That's not good for deep state Illuminati. They don't need those people. So you want to demonize them, and then you're always like, Deliverance. I'm sure you probably heard that clip about me talking about the movie Deliverance, right?
Squeal like a pig, that clip?
Yeah. Oh, dude, they got everybody scared of hillbillies, right? And they get people scared about, being outside of the city. Because when you look at slasher movies, it's always like, can we get back to the city? Can we get back? They're running back to the city. They're out in the woods, and there's these crazy people trying to kill them. Jaws, same thing, Jaws. Like Jaws, they want people out of the ocean. It worked on me, man. It worked. I'll never go deep sea diving. Jaws fucked me up. Jaws fucked me up. And I'm gonna sit my son down and I'm gonna do some MK Ultra on my son, because the last thing I want my son telling me is, "Hey, Dad, can I go deep sea diving with my friends?" Like, fuck. I would say yes, you could, but we're gonna watch Jaws 1, 2, 3, and the one in 3D. Jaws 3 in 3D, shit. And then if you still want to go deep sea diving after that, then okay, we're gonna watch Megalodon and we're gonna watch that. Remember that one movie that came out maybe 10 years ago? It was called like Open Ocean or something like that, where it was about a group of, like, there was like a boat that took out like 20 scuba divers, and then they're out in the ocean, they go scuba diving, and then they come up and then they take them off, but they forgot 2 motherfuckers and they left them. Did you ever see that one? It's like Ocean Blue. It's called Ocean Blue. And the whole movie is them just floating, going, where did the ship go? They just got left out. And the whole movie is them floating in the middle of the ocean. And little by little, they got nipped at and they got eaten up.
Holy shit.
Watch that motherfucker if you ever think about deep sea diving.
Wow. Well, I always say, I sound very, very white, but I have a very black upbringing, so I can't swim at all. Just not at all. I actually have to look.
What do you think that is? Why is there a stereotype that black people can't swim? Like, how does that even make sense?
Well, a lot of them can't. Well, usually, if you're poor, you're in the inner city. So if you're in the inner city, you're not going to get really exposure to swimming. And then the way that the cities are usually set up is that you have to pay to go swimming, and then if you don't have money for that, you're never going to get exposed to it.
Okay.
Then also, when it comes to the islands, because my dad, his parents are Cuban, he's Jamaican, my mom's from Barbados, but when you're poor, you're not. Who has the coast? Who owns the coast? Who owns all that oceanfront property?
Yeah, you think people, when people say they live in Hawaii, you think that they live on the beach.
Exactly.
They don't live on the beach, dog.
Exactly.
You could live in Hawaii and never see the beach. You could just.
Exactly.
I live in LA. People think I'm like at Santa Monica Beach. I go to the beach once a year. I never even see the ocean. So that's right.
That's what
like
I mean.
It's all the rich people have the coast. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're never really.
You're
swimming.
a Caribbean kid. I mean, you're like Barbados and Jamaica and Cuban. Damn.
Yeah. My dad.
How did you end up in Canada?
Well, my grandparents, they went to Florida like all Cubans do, because it's so close. Well, they went actually to Jamaica, and then from there they went to Florida, and then now we have them. I think my grandfather's buried in Jamaica, but my grandmother, she's buried in Florida, Orlando. And my dad, he would move around he went from the UK. He actually has somebody could easily take this and create a conspiracy around me, because he was from Jamaica. He went to the UK. He was in the Air Force, then ended up in the United States, then ended up in Canada. And then I think went back to the States, then went back to Canada.
Deep state.
Right? What can you say?
He
was actually like David Goggins. He was a paratrooper, jumping out of planes and shit.
Okay, let's see how whitewashed you really are. What is your favorite music?
My favorite.
Are you like a hip hop number one, rap number one?
Man, once you learn about what they're doing in the music and the satanic messages that they're putting out, it's hard to. You always want to give in.
All genres of music, though. It is metal and all.
So it's so apparent. Did you hear the hip hop song where the girls are dancing in front of Planned Parenthood and they're singing "Murder on My Mind"?
Damn.
Bro, they're twerking on a car in front of a Planned Parenthood singing "Murder on My Mind." They're rapping about going to get an abortion.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like that, you can't take in hip hop anymore, man. It's gross now. Unless you're going back to like Tribe Called Quest, DOS Effects, and De La Soul. You're going back to that.
All that
time.
positive shit.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're going back there, bro, hip hop is nasty right now. I mean, you got Drake at the top of everything, and the guy's painting his nails all the time, and he has frilly hair and stuff, and it's just like.
So, what kind of music were you? Maybe not now. What kind of music were you into 10 years ago?
Well, 10 years ago, yeah, hip hop.
Mainly hip hop. Okay.
Yeah, but like
you weren't like a metalhead black dude, because every now and then there's a black people into metal. No, not at all. What about grunge? You weren't into Alice in Chains or anything like that?
No, never.
So it was all
like
just like
that.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, well, and then you have a brother who's 12 years older than me, so it's like I was listening. Tribe Called Quest was long gone, but I was still listening to old Tribe Called Quest and old
R&B, and like
I was huge into that when I was a kid. I was
Nelly.
huge into R&B.
Yeah. Okay, Aaliyah and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, I was actually, before we started the podcast, I was listening to Hook Thieves, Yo Body.
Oh shit.
I was listening. I'm like cleaning out the dishwasher, and then all of a sudden I look at the video, and I'm like, what is going on right now?
Oh, so was it the first time you ever heard the song?
Yeah, I never heard that song before.
Do you know what Yo Body actually is?
No. What? Like a body double?
No. You know,
Biden obviously has body double.
The song is about Joe Biden. So I'm actually saying Joe Biden.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. But I call it Yo Body for security reasons, for safety reasons. So if anything goes down, I'm like, I'm not saying Joe Biden, I'm saying Yo Body. Yo Body.
Let me ask.
It's like fuck Joe Brandon, like go Joe, go Brandon.
Let's go Brandon. It's
the exact same thing. So the whole song, if you go on, you could the lyrics are all on Apple Music.
Yeah.
If you read the lyrics, it's 100% about Joe Biden and the laptop. The whole thing. I disguised it as Yo Body, and then the music video is all pro Joe Biden. So it's just it's so like the footage of him like jogging with Barack Obama around the White House. I had to put that in. So it's like I wanted to make the music video like culture jamming. You know, Alex Stein, how he pretends he's a liberal. So it's kind of like that, but be so crazy liberal visually that it would actually get liberals to actually play the song and like the song. You know, but meanwhile they're being tricked.
True.
So that's what that song is. Most people don't even get it. They're like, Yo Body, what is that? What are we talking about? Someone's body? And
listen.
No, Yo Body doesn't even make sense. Like Yo Body.
I saw the title and I heard it. And I'm like, it sounds more like Joe Biden. And then I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, oh, there's Joe Biden. I'm like, oh, obviously that's what he's saying. But I thought Yo Body was in reference to body doubles, because it's, as you play Joe Biden through the years, he doesn't look like the same guy, right?
It has nothing to do with body doubles. It's just actually Joe Biden.
But listen, you bring up for security reasons, okay? This is what we all want to know in the Joe Rogan community, in the JRE community. Is Joe protecting you when he doesn't let you talk about conspiracies? Is that what's going on?
No.
A lot of people think Joe's like super famous and he's like, I don't want anything to happen to my boy, so I can't let my boy say this stuff on this platform. Is that what's going on? Do he ever give you a talk like, hey, listen?
No.
Listen, the Illuminati chief came to me.
No.
And he said either Eddie has to join or he doesn't get to keep saying this.
He's not trying to protect me at all.
All right.
There's zero protection going on. There's zero. I'm at the point now where there's people that are trying to awaken people. I'm done with that. Because if you're still with that Joe Biden shit and the Kamala shit, I don't want to talk to you no more. I'm done waking people up. Now there's a new wave. There's a Candace Owens, like people like you, Russell Brand, all these people. Like you awaken people, because people aren't going to listen to me anyways. Like Alex Jones ain't awakening nobody. Because as soon as people that are asleep find out Alex Jones said something, they're not going to believe him. So at this point, the only way you're going to wake people up is with people that are half awake.
Bro. There are so many people. Listen, maybe you're right about the asleep people who are completely gone, but there are so many people who want to hear from Eddie Bravo. There's
no.
many.
No. Let me finish. I'm done trying to awaken people because if I need to awaken you at this point, dude, you're fucking gone. I have no interest. What I'm here to do is the people that are already awakened. Just because you're awakened doesn't mean that it's over. Now we got to maintain, and always shit's evolving, and then there's new layers, and there's some new shit, and I'm just dealing with people that are awakened, and we're still trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah. There's some new shit today. There's some new shit tomorrow. There was some new shit yesterday. It isn't like, okay, you're awakened and it's over. No, it's just the beginning. So I'm here to talk to people that are already awakened, and they want to expand and add new layers because there's so many things to be awakened to. It isn't one subject. There's literally 1,000 subjects, and it's always changing and evolving. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to talk to the people that are not retarded and they're already awakened. And I don't want to talk to the people that, if you're still asleep, I don't want to talk to you. I'll let Jimmy Dore awaken you. I'll let Bill Maher awaken you. I'll let Candace Owens. Those people, because the people that are still asleep, they'll listen to those people because they're just newly awakened, right? They'll listen to like that's how powerful they are. People talk shit on like Jimmy Dore. He still believes that. But people are listening to him. They're not listening to Alex Jones. Alex Jones ain't gonna awaken new people. I'm not gonna awaken new people.
Okay.
As soon as they hear it's me or Alex Jones, they go, "Oh, it's bullshit. It's Alex Jones." But when they hear Joe Rogan talking about it, when they hear Tulsi Gabbard talking about some new shit, those are the only people that awaken the zombies that are still out there roaming the earth. All right, me, I have no interest. I did that shit by myself. It was me and 3 people. It was me and 3 people awakening people. I'm on Joe Rogan's podcast 85 times. Getting ridiculed, getting persecuted, getting beaten down and eviscerated. I'm done with that shit. I'm done. So when I go on Joe Rogan,
is that what it felt like when you're on there?
Yeah. So when I go on, I'm like, please cut me off. I don't even want to go there. Like, you guys are retarded. You guys are retarded anyways. I could talk about pussy. I could talk about UFC. I could talk about football. I love football. I like football. I like football more than the UFC. You know what I mean? So I want to talk about that shit too. I ain't trying to awaken people. So now on JRE, anytime someone cuts me off or I'm like, thank you. I don't even want to talk about it no more. Because if you need me at this point to awaken you, you're fucking a zombie. And I have no interest in awakening zombies. You know what I mean? I'll leave that to the new wave. I love the new wave of people coming up. I love that. It's your turn. I pass the baton. I'm just dealing with the people that are already awake and that are interested in learning the new shit that's constantly being updated every day. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to people, zombies. Like, I don't want to. I have no interest. As soon as my son's balls deep into baseball, and I'm dealing with all these parents. These parents are asleep. I'm not trying to awaken nobody. I'm like, I put hey, how you doing? How you doing, Mr. fucking Garcia? How you doing, Mr. John?
Okay,
put my earbuds on, and I'm like, I'm watching baseball with the earbuds on. I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm not trying to awaken If you have questions, if you have questions and you're on the fence and you're like, and you could tell by the question and by the tone of the question, if you're legitimately on the fence and you're interested in new information, I'm down with that. But if you ask me a question like, well, then why did he do that? I'm like, I don't want to convince you of nothing. You stay over there and I'm gonna stay over here. I'm done. Like it's too painful. It's too painful.
Man, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is.
So when you see me on JRE, I literally go on there going, I ain't talking no shit no more. But if you ask me a question every now and then, Brendan Schaub asks me, he tries to go, I'll talk. But as soon as you interrupt me, I'm like, I'm done. Let's talk about pussy. I don't give a shit. I'm like, I'm not, it's not worth it. It's too dangerous to sit out there trying to convince all the zombies. I'm like,
all of us really thought that there was a a coordinated type of effort to kind of silence you on the podcast. All of us in the fan base were like, oh, these, because as soon as I made that video, so many people were like, yo, where's Eddie? Why are they like silencing Eddie? Why are they doing that? Like, so many people.
No, I'm silencing myself, man. I'm done. I've said everything. I'm on Joe Rogan's podcast. I say Donald Trump is the greatest president of all time. I said that on Joe Rogan's podcast in front of the whole world. You know what I mean? I've done my shit, you know, so I talked about flat earth. At this point, I swear, you know what? Like, really? Like, I can care less about doing people's podcasts. You know, I'm doing your podcast, you're doing my pod. I can give Michael Plaster set this up. Like, I turn down podcasts, like major big podcasts.
Really?
I turned down major podcasts on the regular, dog. I don't give a fuck no more. I did my work. Wow. I did my work. If you're still asleep, good fucking luck. Go get those boosters. Go get some fucking boosters. Like, I have a giant family, a giant Mexican family. Most of them aren't like most of them don't agree with me politically, and you know, with the whole scamdemic. And dude, my uncle died, heart attack. My aunt got myocarditis. My niece got massive menstrual problems. My mom got blood clots all over her arms.
What do they look like? They look like big bruises, right?
Yes.
Like
and
real.
I told her. I said,
bruises.
Mom, do not get. And she didn't. She got talked into it. You know.
Someone in my family has that same thing.
Now I'm like, hey, you know, I tried to tell you, you know. I tried to, but I'm not even like, we get together Christmas. I'm not even talking about nothing. Good luck. Like, I'm done. Good luck. I'm done with that. I let all y'all's do it. You guys can do it now. You know what I mean? Earth is still flat. Space is still fake. We didn't go to the fucking moon. I'm anti-vax like a motherfucker. You want to take that shit? Good luck. You know what I mean? I don't believe anything the MSM says. I'm like 100% on the opposite side of Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff. I ain't with that shit. That's all fucking demon type shit. You know, but I'm not going to sit here trying to convince the rest of the zombies anymore. You guys are on your fucking own. I'm here to maintain the people that are already awakened. That's what my podcast is for. I'm not trying to convince nobody. You got some questions? I got some answers. I don't know if they're right or anything, but I'm not trying to convince no more zombies. You guys are on your fucking own. It's 2024, and you guys are still with this shit. You guys are like, when you see on the DNC, when you see like Steve Kerr, you saw Steve Kerr and the shit he was saying on the DM, like,
bro, Bill Clinton on stage.
Yeah. That makes sense. Bill Clinton.
Bro, it makes sense.
It makes sense. That guy.
They're pointing at Trump, saying, "Oh, he's rapist, this, that," and then they have Bill Clinton.
Yeah,
Bill Clinton's an island boy, bro.
Yeah, but it's pretty. Everybody knows Bill Clinton is like. I mean, he's got a body count and shit. Like, that guy's like number one.
He has two body counts. He has a body count of chicks he's banged, and then he has a different kind of body count.
Yeah, totally. but when you see anytime, like, any celebrity that was in the DNC talking shit, damn.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Why? How did they get you up there to say that shit, huh?
It's really starting to. Yeah.
Like, what do they got on you? God damn it.
Yeah, it's really starting to look like that, because before you would think, well, they're just so indoctrinated. Because I've worked in film and television. I see people who get indoctrinated. It happens real quick. But then Epstein stuff comes out. The Diddy stuff comes out, and you're like, oh, this happens politics and like fields of tech and industry, and then it happens in music for sure, and then the music goes hand in hand with Hollywood. So it's like, what do they have on these people?
You see it, man. You see it. It's like, yo, they're like, they look at Trump as if Trump wins, we're fucked. So
yeah, why is that?
No matter what, exactly. No matter what, go against Trump. It's like, no, Kamala, whatever. They could put a fucking chipmunk. They're like, fuck yeah, chipmunk.
Oh yeah, MSNBC Joy Reid. She's like, I'll vote for a corpse. She's like, bring a corpse out. I'll vote for a corpse. Bro, did you hear Quentin Tarantino? He was on Bill Maher's podcast. And this touches on exactly what you were saying. He was like, this is just about winning the effing election. He goes, that's all this is about. We have to win. We have to be the president. We're going to be the president. That's what this is about. Bro, he went on this wild rant. It was so weird. Yeah, it was so weird. He's like, we have to win. This is about winning.
Dude, you would have to think that like all the big giant film producers like Steven Spielberg and Francis Ford Coppola, like all the big giant motherfuckers, Quentin Tarantino, you would have to think that they would be super pro Biden, super pro Kamala. You would have to think based on like what must have been going on in their careers. Do you know what I mean? How'd you get,
Well, I mean, when it comes to Harvey, a lot of people pointed out right at the beginning of that whole thing, the people who came out were just the people that came out. It wasn't everybody. There's certain people who just said, I'm not giving up my career and my status to talk about what this guy did or what I know about this guy.
Thing was super interesting. Like, why'd they let him go down? What was the real story? I bet maybe Illuminati meetings that were like, you know what, Harvey's just getting too crazy. He's not listening to us anymore. We're going to have to take him down. Maybe he was just a pain in their ass. You know what I mean?
Think about what we were talking about before when you were like, maybe they're brainwashing us and Chuck and Nancy are actually the good people. I was talking with my buddy. I'm like, what if Harvey was at an Illuminati party and he was like, guys, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. We have to be better than this, guys. Yeah. We can just make movies. We can help people. And they were like, oh, this guy's done.
Yeah, totally. Same thing with Bill Cosby, right? What's the real story with Bill Cosby? Because we know there was 50 girls or whatever that went against him, right? It seems like the people at the top, they know. Look at, I'm doing this. See, they're going to use that. They're going to use
that. That's it. Done deal.
That's it. But it seems like they know that if there's 50 accusers, nobody even looks into it. They don't even look into it.
Yeah.
Like if there's 12, they might look into it. But if there's 50, just like the laptop, Hunter Biden's laptop, how many former intelligence officers signed off on it that it was Russian disinformation? 51. So they know, 50. So they need 50. Right? So look at Bill Cosby, they're 50. And then when you look into a lot of those allegations with Bill Cosby, when you look into a lot of them, it was some girl from 1972 that said, yeah, Bill Cosby, he gave me a kiss on my ear, or he kissed my neck, or there's a bunch of them. They're like, man, these aren't really allegations, but no one looks into it. They just think, 51 girls.
It's a spectacle. Once you're saying 50 of anything, it becomes a spectacle.
Yeah, no one even looks into it. It's guilty. It's guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
Guilty.
If there's that many, obviously this guy's guilty. 50 people wouldn't come together and collude like that. That would never happen. So.
Yeah, I'm not saying Bill Cosby isn't a piece of shit. Maybe he did drug these girls, but I bet a lot of motherfuckers did that, and they threw him under the bus because maybe he was trying to buy NBC or something like that. So, and look at Prince. They went after fucked Prince. Prince was talking the truth, but I would say Prince probably in the beginning was involved in a lot of parties and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But then maybe he saw the light, and then he saw that he was getting fucked. So they go, let's get when it comes to rock stars, the people that own the music business, they know that rock stars are worth way more when they die in their prime instead of dying when they already sold out and started making stupid fucking albums. At that point, but when Kurt Cobain, when that motherfucker died, he died in his prime, and that guy will live on forever as a legend. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So, what really happened with Michael Jackson? You know what I mean? What really happened there? It just seems like
there's actually somebody who's young who passed away. His name was XXXTentacion, and he was an incredible musician, and they took him out at 20 years old.
Yep.
And days before, he was in an interview, and he was saying, he's like, a lot of what these guys do in the industry is they use frequency to mess with people's minds. He's like, you can make someone depressed with frequency. He's like, you can make somebody really happy with frequency. And he was talking about all this stuff about what people do in the music industry. And then he just randomly got robbed in Florida, and got shot in the chest. So instead of robbing him, they just shot him and killed him. But he was an amazing musician. He was talking a lot of truth. And it's just interesting how I'm sure you don't even know. There's a whole theory. Every young artist right now, there's at least there's probably 10 of them. They all, when they first get signed, they get this ring. And this ring is a big star. It's like a big gaudy star. It's like huge. It's a big star, right? And every single one of these guys that gets this ring ends up dying. Every single one ends up getting murdered. And it's exactly like you said. It's actually more than what you said. The labels actually take out a life insurance policy on these artists. So they get paid from that, and then they get paid from the guy's music. And now with AI, all day you can get paid.
Did you ever see that movie? The only movie Andrew Dice Clay starred in was the stars called Ford Fairlane. Have you ever seen
No. Ford Fairlane?
Dude. It came out like in 1991. Watch the movie Ford Fairlane, starring Andrew Dice Clay. He plays a detective that's going looking into the murder of a rock star, and then he finds out that the label killed him for the exact same reasons we're talking about. And then he never made another movie after that. That was the end of Andrew Dice Clay's movie career. It was the beginning. It was the beginning because he was such a big comedian, first comedian to sell out Madison Square Garden. He was doing arenas, and they're like, Andrew Dice Clay was big. So they gave him a movie. He made a movie called Ford Fairlane, and then they unplugged him.
Really?
Ford Fairlane, dude. It's a fucking great movie, man.
There's a lot of speculation around Jimi Hendrix that same way. My wife and I, we did an episode on it where we were talking about how he was found with a gross amount of alcohol like poured down his throat. Like it was so much that it had to have been like forced down. Yeah. There's like a bunch of stuff to his death.
Have you looked into Kurt Cobain's death?
That I looked into when I was younger. I haven't looked into it since I actually know how to research stuff. But that was like back in the day, YouTube. Courtney, what's her name? Courtney Cox, is that her name? Courtney Love. Yeah, it was an odd one. Definitely with the shots and everything, how it went down, especially with what he was talking about. And those guys they seemed like they didn't give a fuck about anything. Those guys seemed really.
What do you mean?
Like Nirvana.
Oh.
Like those guys seemed like unplugged. Like it didn't seem like they could be controlled really, from the way that they would be on stage, from the way that they would be at award shows. They seemed like they were a problem, or they could have been a problem.
They were perfect for the Illuminati. They were perfect. They were suicidal, depressed, on drugs, on heroin. They were perfect, man.
Have you heard of the Laurel Canyon stuff?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that stuff. Stuff actually.
David McGowan. That's like.
Yeah.
That's some of the most fascinating shit that I've ever come across.
That stuff hasn't stopped actually. If you look into slowly, like I've only looked into a few people, but Martin Lawrence was born in Germany.
Had no idea.
J. Cole, he's a really big rapper. He was born in Germany in the same place. It was army bases. They're actually born in army bases. It's very interesting. There's a lot of guys in hip hop who have the same type of military connection. Yeah.
With the Laurel Canyon shit.
Yeah. It's so I bring that up because it seems like it didn't stop. Like Laurel Canyon is really focused in on rock and roll, but I think it kept going into hip hop. As you look into who it is, it's very interesting.
Diddy. All the shit he did, all the blackmail shit that he's allegedly being accused of, like blackmailing basically everybody in R&B and hip hop on the East Coast anyways. He's just one dude. Every musical genre got that dude that's blackmailing people.
For sure.
It's in every genre. It's in grunge. It's in metal. It's in metal. It's in all of them. P. Diddy just won. There's a bunch of dudes like that. There's a bunch of dudes that are you know, when you look at the top, when you look at the top of, when you look at who's controlling Diddy, like that's like, you know, Suge Knight. He's talking about
Yeah.
it. Suge Knight saying, "Hey, it's Clive Davis, the one who's masterminding this shit. It's Lucian Grange." That's what Suge Knight says. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. If
Yeah,
that's true, but
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
that's what
it's-
Suge Knight says. Maybe Suge Knight is full of shit. He's a criminal. I don't know, but
yeah.
what's up with Clive Davis and Lucian Grange, man? Like, what are they doing?
Well, people speculate that Clyde and Diddy actually had like a relationship that went like past music, you know?
That's what Jaguar Wright says. You know?
Yeah. A lot of people are touching on that.
You watch all those videos, those Jaguar Wright videos.
I saw her videos years ago, and I'm actually surprised. I only saw her recently pop back up on Instagram, but years ago I would watch her videos because she was one of the first people to talk about it. But then there would be random, like back in the day, it was just like a random guy who was like, I was a producer and his face was blacked out, and P. Diddy said this and made me do this, and people would be like, this is so stupid. And then 2024, all this stuff comes out, and it turns out very, very allegedly real stuff.
And you know what's crazy? What's crazy is for a while there, like early, like, you know, 4 or 5 months ago, it was all over YouTube. It was just Diddy, 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 Diddy. And then now
it's gone.
That shit's gone, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I think? You know, my theory is with the whole Diddy thing is the election's coming, and they needed a way to scare all celebrities to shut the fuck up. So they're gonna, like, maybe they said, Diddy, you know, you ain't going to jail, but we're gonna scare everybody, because everybody that went, you know, nobody's talking shit on Diddy. Even Ice Cube, the guy with the biggest balls, he was just on PBD, and they asked him, like, what do you think about Diddy? He said, I ain't saying nothing. Like we good. I ain't saying shit.
Really?
Even Ice Cube, nobody is fucking. The only one to burying Diddy is Jaguar Wright and that Eugene Deal, like his bodyguard, and Jaguar Wright. They're the only two ones. They're the only two. And then the guys, you know, the guy that the producer who's doing that lawsuit, I forget his name.
I forget what his name is, but yeah, he was the one that kind of sparked everything.
Him, and then there's, like, you know, Cassie and all that. But you know what? Nobody else is saying shit. Anytime someone brings up the party, they go, didn't you go to the party? I go, yeah, I went to the party, but you know what? I left early. I left like at 8:30.
Yeah, they all keep saying
everybody
that.
left early. Everybody left early. Oh,
you know, that's what got Cat Williams. That's when he started getting blackballed. He has that one bit where he said he went to Diddy's house and he walks by a room and he's like, did I just see a dude kissing another dude?
Did he do that? Like, how he did that as part of his act?
Yeah, he was on stage.
And how long ago was that in his act?
Oh, that was back when he had the curl hair and he was running around, the huge belt buckle and jumping around and everything.
That's probably it, dog.
That's when it started. That's when his whole blackballing started.
Yeah. So, but you know what? All that shit's gone now.
Yeah, it's done.
All the Diddy shit's gone. I mean, he's still not out of the woods, because there's, you know, every now and then, like a couple days ago, TMZ posted something, a new lawsuit. There's another chick trying to get some money. But overall, the Diddy shit's going away. The only thing that will never go away is when people say no Diddy. You know what I mean? When you say something, that shit's forever. That shit's forever, right? The no Diddy. That's not going away. His lawsuits might go away. But shit.
No, but the stink of that is forever. That's done.
Yeah, but what's gonna happen? It seems, dude, I don't see any more shit on YouTube no more. Like YouTube,
the only person who really went hard, it's basically scrubbed. I mean, you won't see it randomly pop up. You'll have to search for it. But the only person I saw really go hard, I did a couple episodes on it. I think I did like 3, but Candace Owens did, like, she went really deep into the whole thing of the blackmail and this and that. She went really deep into what he is. And, you know, Kanye West notoriously, before he went into, you know, what people frame as this whole craziness that he went into, he was on a podcast that actually got taken down because it was on Diddy's network that he did this podcast. But he said Diddy's a Fed. He's like, he's a Fed.
Yeah.
He said it repeatedly. He's like, that guy is a Fed.
And then Kanye's not saying shit no more either.
Exactly.
He's not saying nothing no more. Like, what's going on? Everything you hear about Kanye these days are about his new girlfriend being like half naked. Like, that's the only thing I hear about Kanye is he got some hot girl that looks like the Kardashian.
Kim. Yeah.
Looks like Kim. Tits hanging out, ass hanging out.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
I thought he was Jesus. I don't know. So I don't know what's going on. He was in the All Jesus, and I don't know. But,
I don't know, man.
I love Kanye.
He said black people need to start. He said in this podcast that got taken down. He actually said I'm jealous of Jewish people. He's like, because I wish that black people would do what Jewish people are doing. He said the exact same thing that I've been saying. And in that podcast, it came out. And he was talking to it's called a podcast called Drink Champs. And he said to the guy, he's like, this is going to get taken down. And the host is like, no, Kanye, I won't have this taken down. I'm going to make sure this stays up. 2 hours later, gone. Literally came out 2 hours later, gone, scrubbed. You can't find it. It's gone. Yeah. That's the way it goes, man. It's interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Like, I don't know if you have to go or anything, but I wanted to ask you about UFOs. What do you think about all this disclosure stuff that's going on right now? All these guys.
I think right? It's Project Blue. They push alien shit so much. Anytime you have a whistleblower from the Pentagon talk about aliens, it has millions of views. They don't censor that shit. They don't censor whistleblowers talking about aliens, so it's bullshit. It's all about one world government. It's all about globalism. And the number one thing that'll usher us into a new world order is a fake alien invasion. So that's what they're preparing. That's the last thing they're going to do is a fake alien invasion. They're scared to pull the trigger because everyone's going to call bullshit on it. But that's the last thing, a fake alien invasion. That's why there's so many. They love space. They want everything space, because if you can't have aliens without space, and we can't have a fake alien invasion without fucking aliens. So we need fucking aliens. So we need space, and we're going to have a fake alien invasion. It's going to scare everybody. It's just like Lord of the fucking Rings. Lord of the Rings. That's all it is. Lord of the Rings. You watch what is it about? Lord of the Rings is all the castles, they all have to unite because there's the one common enemy, the fucking orcs or whatever they are. And if you don't agree, if you're a castle, like, we're not going to agree to that. What Lord of the Rings, you get killed. So Lord of the Rings is we all need to unite against the evil force. Otherwise, if you don't unite, then you're going to die. They're going to fucking take you out. So that Independence Day, it's all the same shit.
True.
I was like all in the aliens. They fake that the government is covering up aliens. They want you to think that. They're not stupid. These guys are smart. They know just like the PMRC and all the parental advisory on rap albums. They did that because they know the human condition. You don't think they know the human condition? You put a parental fucking advisory sticker, it's going to make the kids buy it. So they pretend.
True.
They pretend like they're trying to keep it from you, but they want you, just like the war against drugs. They want you on drugs. So you don't think these fucking Nazi scientists know the human condition? You want someone to do something, you forbid it. That's what you do. They're not that stupid. We're like, we want people to do it, so we're just going to promote it. They're not that dumb. They're fucking geniuses. They know the human condition. Anytime you saw I wanted to see rated R movies. I didn't want to see PG fucking 13. If a movie's a PG 13, I don't want to go see the PG movie. I want to see rated R, right?
Yeah, of course.
You want to see rated X. They know the human condition. They're fucking with us. That's all it is.
You know what? Tucker Carlson, some other people have touched on it, Tucker Carlson was talking about how he thinks they've been here the whole time and everything. I'm thinking in the combination with Project Bluebeam that this would be a good way for everybody to accept demons as a more intelligent race of beings that are here to help us. right? Because that's what everybody fantasizes about. It's either the aliens are going to come and destroy everything, or they're going to come and they're going to be the people, or, you know, the beings that are going to be like, you know, this is how, yeah, exactly. So it would be actually be a good way if these were demons. And I do think demons are real, especially after the past, you know, since Obama took office, you know, you're starting to see the demons start to really mask off, especially with the woke crowd. I think demons are real. And I think this would be a good way for people to accept demons as their savior and as they're above.
I can see that. I can see that for sure. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think, you know, it really is a battle between good and evil. And I think there are good entities and good people in the world. And I think there's a lot we are seeing people worshiping some satanic type of thing right now. We're seeing it. We're seeing it in Hollywood. We're seeing it in politics. We can actually see it. The last step would be to actually have whatever it is they worship come through. And then Project Bluebeam would be, you know, because everybody knows what Project Bluebeam is. The technology exists now to put I guess a image of Christ on this demon, make it look Christ-like if it can't do it itself, and then have everybody accept it. You know, I think they'll do that same thing with Jesus as well. I think they can fool people by allowing some demon to come, making it look like Christ, and having some kind of second coming happen as well.
Yeah, man. You know, there's Jesus Christ, Christianity, and the Bible, and, you know, there's people that they believe in the Bible, and then there's people that are like, oh no, the Bible is metaphors. It's based on Egyptology, and like I don't. It's hard to believe like what is real and what isn't. But like you said, the elite believe in Satan so much, and it's so obvious that there has to be a God. There has to be. I mean, why would they be so into Satan if there wasn't the opposite, a God?
So into Satan, so into sacrifice, so into everybody having to bow down to it, so into giving up children to the altar of it. You see celebrities doing it constantly. You know, somehow Megan Fox has 3 kids who are all non-binary. How does that happen?
Crazy. Even Charlize Theron, same thing.
Yeah.
Like, how you guys having so many trans babies? Like, what the fuck is going on?
And Charlize, hers are adopted. Isn't it crazy that she went to Africa and got pretty much the only 2 that would end up being trans?
Yo,
that's she's lucky.
Yeah,
it's luck.
Yeah. Like
Megan Fox said she knew when her kid was in the womb that they would be non-binary.
How crazy is she?
You know what I mean? And then she's talking about doing blood rituals with that MGK, her husband, boyfriend, whatever it is. They're talking about drinking each other's blood and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's either that or Trump. It's more of that or Trump.
Exactly. That's how we'll end this. It's like, you want that shit? We know 1,000,000% that side are demons. We don't know if we're being tricked with the other side, but I'm going to go with the other side. You know, I'm definitely going to go with I'm going to go with Trump. It seems like billionaires are like Elon and Trump. They're like, what good is our billionaire status in a third world country? Because when you're a billionaire in a third world country, everyone's trying to kidnap you constantly, and you got to have machine guns around you at all times.
Third world.
You can't be a billionaire in a third world country. You got to have people with machine guns surrounding you at all times. What fun is that? If you're a billionaire in the United States, when it's fucking prosperous, you don't have to have machine guns all around you at all time. You know.
And also, if you're in a communist country as well, how are you going to be a billionaire? The first thing they're going to want to do is take away your money.
Exactly. So that's why I think Elon and Trump are standing up. I'm hoping. I mean, it could be all a trick. You know, people say, "Oh, they're shills. They're fucking." They're at the Wailing Wall with their yarmulkes and they're buying the shills. Like, that could be true. I mean, I don't know. Or it's all optics and there's a 5D chess and he's playing the game. Fuck, I don't know. But one thing I do know for sure, 1,000,000%, the other side are demons, so I'm not going there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a chance and go with the Trump side because we only have two choices. We have fucking Kamala or we have Trump. What are you gonna do? You gonna do Kamala? Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You have to go Trump. We have to take our chances. It could be a trick. It could be a trick, but dude, we have no fucking choice.
Yeah, definitely.
Coach Colin, you're a bad motherfucker. I fucking love you. I watch your videos every day, dude. I watch all your shit. Keep doing what you're doing. How could my audience find you?
Oh man, I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. I am Coach Colin. That's what the primary YouTube channel is called. That's where the Soul Not for Sale podcast is. And then I have another channel called Coach Colin Media. Colin has one L in it. It's also, you can find it all on Spotify as well, Apple as well. And that's it. And that's it, man. That's where you can find me.
Well, thank you very much for doing this, dude. We'll do it again. We'll do part 2 soon.
Man.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you so much, man. Much respect to you, sir.
Much respect to you, man. Have a good evening.
You too, man.
The Jiu-Jitsu Dojo is the ultimate training ground for life. Jiu-Jitsu will accelerate the evolution of your being, your consciousness, your soul. Through this amazing art, you will prove to yourself that you can master anything you set your mind to.
Happy birthday, Eddie Bravo.
I leave for Brazil tomorrow.
Are you the Fear Factor guy?
I'm like 6 pounds over. Time to sweat it out.
Just imagine someone that has no idea how different your game is.
I'll tell you what this weekend was, man. It was a culmination point where all your hard work comes to like one great moment in time. You showed that you're a fucking champion, guy who goes against convention. You created your own shit and figured interesting ways to get around problems in jiu-jitsu. And shows you that great things are possible if you work hard, if you dedicate yourself, and you use your creativity, and you push through. Your own human potential just goes up.
My 10th Planet Association has grown rapidly to over 70 academies worldwide, and their curriculums are all synced to 10th Planet headquarters located in downtown Los Angeles. I'm Eddie Bravo. I hope to see you on the